Welcome to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, starring Cody Adams and Steve Crowley.
It's time!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, coming to you on Game 1 of the Celtics vs. Hawks series, the opening round of the playoffs on April 15th of 2023. I'm Cody, as you know, one of your hosts, and that's Steve, your other host, and then we have a special guest, Jacob Pierce. How you doing?
I'm a longtime old ball friend. As far back as you can go when it comes to like the friends you make when you play pickup. Honestly, when it comes to like the pickup friends, I'd say you guys definitely come to mind when I think of who are like our like basketball friend group would just go to the courts and you guys would just always be there at night.
Yeah,
it was great.
Those were the days.
Actually, in fucking like sixth grade.
I bet you don't remember it as much, but do you remember when I was like on your summer team? Like before we even really played that much together, I was on your summer team. We went to the championship with Bomb.
Yeah.
And I was on your team. I was just like the youngest person.
Yeah, I remember getting you the ball a couple times on that one.
I was just the type. I would just hustle my ass off, really.
That's why you're the best to play with.
Yeah, I know. I always pride myself on being like the most annoying person to play against too. Because I'm just tipping rebounds everywhere, using my wingspan.
That's the thing. I can't shoot. I can't dribble. I can't necessarily do anything on offense. So I just try a lot, get defense, get boards and shit.
Yeah, at least you guys are doing that. I'm just kind of out there filling up a role, just filling up a spot on the court.
You always downgrade your ability, Steve. You're great.
You were Jokic before Jokic. You're like, yeah. He probably studied your tape. The big men passing.
Yeah, the big guy at 6'1".
A Steve Crowley and one mixtape.
There's an Escalade is what it was. R.I.P. to a legend.
Yeah, R.I.P. So big game. I mean, the Hawks, the Heat folded up their season, or are they in the playoffs? Did they win last night?
Oh shit, I have no idea. I wasn't paying that much attention to it.
Well, regardless, they folded to the Hawks, and the Hawks secured their role against the Celtics here in the playoffs. But Celtics are pretty heavily favored. Celtics are 10-point favorites. What do we think about that?
Jacob, didn't you get 11.5 on yours?
Yeah, earlier it said 12.5. I think there was a lot of alternative spreads at 10.5. It might have went up and down. I feel like Jalen's hand news might have been moving it up and down.
Yeah, he got all the stitches out of his hand, so he should be good. But
yes, I saw that he practiced without restrictions, and it's always hard to read all that stuff anyway. I kind of just crossed my fingers. You don't know if he's tough because he also loves Atlanta, so he wants to show out.
Playoffs too. He's gonna play. He's gonna show up and try and hoop.
Definitely.
Yeah, but if there's anything we can remember about him is that he likes to show up in the big games here. And especially against his hometown team, the Atlanta Hawks. So, I always get super nervous when it's the playoffs, just because I think you'd be foolish not to be. But I think we'll handle this Hawks team well. I don't know if we'll cover that spread because double-digit spreads almost never it's the NBA. They're very far and few between where a game goes up by double digits. But the over-under is 231.5 points. So, pretty offensively based game.
I see the overhit on that. Celtics, I just saw, are averaging over 126 points a game against the Hawks. So,
yeah, I think the Celtics will fill it up on this Hawks team. So it's just a matter of how many points can the Hawks get.
We're like a way better version of it, obviously, but I feel like both teams just are so unpredictable. So I feel like I don't like we could come out just firing on fire, and it could just feel really dumb to even be scared at all. Or we could be like rough, and because we always show our youth in the playoffs a lot. I feel like we play down pretty hard. We play up to like the Bucks, but we play down whenever we play.
That's what I've been saying all year. We've like played. We always meet the match of like the tough teams, and we play them hard, and we win a lot. And then we'll like play against the Rockets and get in the Nets and get blown out like by a team that's like basically playing in the Pembroke High or the Pembroke courts, center courts there.
Dude, I actually, the Magic games made me just so like the Celtics versus Magic this year was like every game we got cooked by Paolo and Wagner and Fultz. I love that Fultz is like coming back.
Me
It's like
too.
I feel like that's like so far like we've so far won that Tatum battle, like that trade. I remember in the beginning I was rooting against him just for a second. Obviously, I don't root for injuries, but like I obviously wanted to win the trade. But
Yeah.
now like Tatum's like are always arguably top 10 now. So it's like, yeah, obviously we won that. Now I want Fultz would be a really good most improved player pick next year.
Yeah, I like that. I think he'd be a good option.
The league would
He's
love it too.
he's freaky athletic. He's still, despite all the injuries. I remember watching. I saw a highlight of him this week. It's like with a full court like jam, like on a breakaway. But yeah, so um, like, what do you give us some picks here, Steve? What do you think? Let's get your shite picks out of the way. I'll ask Jacob for his.
Are we talking about my slip I put in, or are we talking about picks for the game, or what are we talking here?
Yeah, what do you think? What action do you have, or do you like?
I mean, let me pull up my slip. I got a 5-way slip.
What about you, Jacob? What do you like?
Well, I hedged against my I got to do the face ID for DraftKings, but I hedged against the star bets basically. I bet 20 plus for Bragi and 30 plus for Jalen and just money line, and that was plus 1100. So that's pretty crazy. And I feel like it could happen. Obviously,
Mhm.
I feel like if Tatum's not going to go crazy, I feel like it's usually Bragi and Brown together. So then I just did Tatum, basically just a full good solid Tatum game. I just did 25, 5, 5, 2, and 1. So basically just hedging whether or not Tatum or JB goes off.
Mhm.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I got under on the 37.5 PRA for Trae Young. I feel like really we just kind of dog him tonight. I feel like we throw everybody at him and just say, hey, somebody else beat us. I don't think they're gonna let Trey beat him tonight. I got Sadiq Bey over 1.5 threes. I feel like that's a lock against the Celtics. He played like 10 minutes on last Sunday when I went to the game and he hit like 3. I feel like that's a lock. I got the over on PRA for 44.
He always did that on the Pistons too.
Oh, he destroys the Celtics.
You said Celtics kill him, Ish Smith, and we can go down this list for days.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Middleton might be the best, but Celtics Middleton is nuts.
Yeah.
That
They're gonna
playoff
need him.
I had the higher PRA on Jaylen Brown, 36.5, and the higher on rebounds and assists for Marcus Smart, which is only 8.5. I feel like that's pretty easy. I feel like
Nice.
8.5 rebounds and assists for Smart. I feel like he could probably have easy 6 assists tonight, just off of easy fast break points.
He honestly better. That's not asking for much.
No, he's going to be rebounding too because he knows that we need rebounds tonight, so he's going to be down there trying to get some too.
He's gonna have a tough assignment with DeJounte, and because DeJounte is pretty big. Because like with obviously he's probably gonna get on Trey like most of the time, or I don't know. We might put this. We have D White too. No, we're pretty damn good at with guard.
We match up perfectly with them.
We do, yeah. I just kind of remembered how solid D White is like for that. Obviously, Brogdon's not like he's more of offense, but yeah,
Biggest mismatch on the floor is like Clint Capella over Al Horford.
definitely.
Like that's their
But
only
also, it's a mismatch both ways though, because we can get shooting out of Al.
Yeah.
And then once Al goes to the bench, like, hey, you have Rob Williams. Then there goes your mismatch.
Grant's at least strong enough for him, but he's not tall enough.
Yeah.
He's going to be big in the Philly and Milwaukee series, though. I think he's going to be key for those series.
We're gonna need him to be.
I don't even really care about the scoring that much in those series. I care more about the defense.
He just I mean, remember, like he was probably one of the bigger reasons we won against Milwaukee, just because he contained Giannis. I know I wrote in one of my earlier like write-ups this year, I wrote about like Grant being one of my favorite players to watch, and then he had like this biggest stinker of a second half. So it's like, but and he's so annoying. I like how annoying he is because you need annoying players. Like we have Smart to be like the bruiser type, and then we have Grant that just seems like he's like the in your ear type.
Yeah, he's a worm.
Yeah. So and he's just strong as hell. Like I remember he was rattling. Like he can stay in front of KD, but then also take the hits from Giannis. Is like that's.
Yeah.
I hope we pay him, but I hope his value went down.
I think it
I
did.
probably did. Yeah.
I
Like
think we
half
pay him
what he
like a
has.
defensive player though. Like we're gonna pay him like a top notch defensive only player.
Yeah.
Like I pay him. I'd pay him what like PJ Tucker's getting paid, which is like 17.5 million, I think.
I think he's probably something. He might be a little bit lower than that, but also I think PJ Tucker's only getting that money because he has the veteran. Like there's some thing where if you're in the league for more than 10 years, you can't make less than a certain amount or something like that.
Yeah.
Also, if Grant wins with us, he'd have the Tucker like if once you're like the bruiser type guy on its team that won before, you're almost seen as like a piece for a chip team. Like Tucker kind of just teams are like, oh, a team won with Tucker once is that guy. Like I feel like if Grant gets a chip, he's just gonna go away and be like a wicked expensive role player.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Harrison Barnes.
I mean, you're not gonna pay a guy $20 million with like no offensive game. Like how
Yeah,
you?
unless he shows off in the playoffs. Like if he shows up in the playoffs and really just dominates and plays like he did last year, he might get that money.
That game
Yeah,
is
like, listen, I wouldn't be shocked if a dumb team pays him, but like that's
wouldn't be
not. It's not gonna be a good pay.
If he goes off this offseason, starts hitting 3-4 threes a game and playing great defense the way he was last year, I can see the Celtics paying him too. It's also one of those things where with the new CBA being $17.5 million over the cap, you can't sign anybody that you haven't drafted. So Grant might be your best bet to try and keep him and keep trying to work him to be the best player he can be.
Well, listen, Al's money's coming off the books this year, regardless whether he retires or leaves but his contract's up, and that's a big chunk of change that's freed up. So
He'll come back too. He'll come back on a cheaper deal probably.
I just realized I left the TV on in the parlor. I'll be right back. You guys have a conversation while I'm gone.
I was just gonna say, I think like Al in general is such a question mark for this. That's like one of the bigger like bullet point question marks of this playoffs for me is like, can he be as good as last year? Like because he's old. It's like if we could get last year's Al, and we have like Brogdon and like maybe just people are more composed, we should win it all.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Al to be honest in the playoffs. I mean, we've given him so much rest this year.
Yeah, no.
Like the way this is set up with like you're getting like 2 days off between games at this point. Like Al's gonna be fine with that, I think. And I think that hopefully in this Hawk series we can finish it off quick because you know that the Sixers are probably gonna finish off the Nets pretty quick too. So
Yeah, they were handling business earlier.
Yeah, you might get a little extra rest before that series. I think the biggest question mark going into the playoffs, I think, is going to be the Derek White or Grant. And
No,
Derek White,
the biggest question is obvious: is Tatum going to wilt?
Yeah,
That's the big question.
I think he got more rest this year. I think we ended last year so crazy with that push to get that we really needed to do. I feel like we kind of I feel like I don't know. I think we have way more stamina this year.
He got less rest this year. Actually, he played more minutes this year
Really?
than he
Yeah, but it was something crazy where like he didn't take the summer off before that. He was like playing for the Olympic team, maybe? No,
True.
something like that.
Yeah,
He's an underrated workhorse when it comes to all the people that like don't.
He doesn't miss games.
Yeah, he's just like also like he never has been. I think like what I'm obviously don't know for a fact, but I think he led in total points. Did he do that last year too?
I don't know. I think he did lead it this year.
Last year was Trae Young led in total points.
True, but he's always up there. At least like Tatum, he's like always just there for us.
But this year,
in the regular season,
he's been blessed with health, and so have we. And
and he plays through everything. He doesn't care.
I think that's like the sign of a great player when it comes to like the long-term like franchise type dude is like kind of like LeBron, where LeBron gets like LeBron's obviously the god example of this, of like getting a sprained ankle and just tightening your shoes up like and being like, all right, I'm back. Like, but Tatum kind of has that in him. I feel like he comes back pretty early on. I feel like we've never been like, why is Tatum out long?
Yeah.
Like he's always come back pretty fast from like anything.
So a lot of times that I wish that they would keep him out longer, but like he says, "Hey, I'm playing," and the franchise unfortunately kind of just says, "Okay." I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would like kind of say, "No, you're not playing." But I
Yeah,
guess
I think you just do whatever to appease them.
yeah, that's kind of what it is in the NBA.
Unfortunately, the rest of
When
our
you're
team
that
is pretty.
good, it's fine. Like when you're that good, it's all right.
What were you saying, Jacob?
I was just saying the rest of our team gets pretty injured, so I bet a lot of times we really can't. Yeah, feel like
Yeah, I mean,
Rob.
Marcus Smart's obviously battling something that he probably get surgery in the offseason.
Yeah,
I think it was the Raptors game, his fucking foot or whatever, his ankle.
yeah, he had an ankle problem for a while. Then he said he had pinched nerve in his neck. I was listening to an interview the other day. He said he couldn't
Yeah,
like turn his neck like left or right. He's like waking up in the middle of the night, shit with it. So he said that's feeling good now. He's rested for a while. He said he's feeling a lot better. So hopefully we can keep that going through the playoffs. They're gonna test him tonight, that's for sure.
Pinched neck is such like a common man injury. It's such a thing I'm afraid of.
yeah. It's
And
like
now
my dad. That's what my dad gets all the time.
Sleep
it's such a thing you
well.
can just have.
Um, Not that anybody cares, but I took the Felger and Maz parlay, Boston Celtics money line, parlayed with the Jalen Brown over 25.5, and over 3 pointers, 3 total made for Al Horford. So
No free ads. No free ads.
shout out to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Speaking of being on the injured report, I am playing injured today. Huge Michael Jordan games, flu game.
Yeah, the flu.
Uh,
Hopefully, none of the Celtics partied.
No.
nah, they look fired up.
That's for sure.
I didn't see him at Encore.
I mean, obviously, I want us to have every advantage possible, but it's nice to see like a very healthy Hawks team. Like everyone's just healthy in this series right now.
Yeah, you want to see
Yeah.
good. Yeah, if you get a miss a shot and you tip it back up at the rim, does that count as a rebound or?
Yeah, I
It's a
think
good
so.
question.
I think it does.
Well, remember, famously, I mean, obviously, if you don't do it intentionally, because the NBA did famously what Giannis this year, to get a triple double, he was cherry picking down the other end or whatever, and he just caught a pass and he just threw it off the backboard and caught it and then dunked it, and they revoked that rebound.
Oh yeah, I
No,
remember
he
that.
threw it off his own net. I think he threw it off his own backboard and didn't dunk it.
Oh,
So it
oh,
actually wasn't a real shot, so they said that's why you can't count it. I was like, you guys are such fucking nitwits. Nobody
jeez,
cares.
Derek White with the stuff on Trae Young. I'd love to see that.
I'm pretty sure that tip thing happened in or like not that time him trying to go for the 10th rebound. I'm pretty sure that happened like a funny time with the discourse too. I'm pretty sure like there's a big discourse about people stat padding, like not even about Giannis. I think it was about Embiid trying to go for the MVP or something. And like it was just funny that Giannis just like had the most blatant example of it ever. Like and the discourse wasn't even about him. Or it might have been Luca because people like to. That's always a conversation.
I completely forgot they had John Collins.
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot of noise. Every year they talk about trading him, and he never gets traded.
Like True Withers always says, John Collins don't dunk the same anymore.
Is that true?
Yeah, he just always sneaks stuff like that in because I think they'd have I don't think Hawks fans really like John Collins. I don't know.
It's very strange.
I don't like their team either. I think their team's kind of just like,
They're a bunch of
I mean-
athletes. But nothing really fits though.
well, their superstar's bad. That's it. They don't have a great superstar.
No,
It's gonna be like us with IT. If they ever get good enough to go far, it's gonna be like, oh, let's abuse the person that's under 6 feet.
Mm-hmm. Mouse in the
it's
house.
hard to win with an undersized guard. It doesn't matter how good they are. Not a lot of teams have ever done it.
It's hard to even imagine. Like, I mean,
The Warriors would disagree.
I was just about to say, I think
Warriors are
Curry
different,
and Kyrie are like the smallest in the recent memory. But like, I guess Kyle
No,
Lowry.
not that small.
Kyle Lowry's stocky, but he's short.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry. Yeah, he was. He's not. He wasn't the go-to guy though. No, Kawhi Leonard was like a man possessed in that.
Neither was Kyrie. Kyrie wasn't the go-to guy on that team either.
Dude, Lowry was a great like random Raptors team. That Lowry went so crazy, and like it was very against his like history too, which is nice because he's
Fuck
him and
Kyle
DeMar.
Fuck
Jeez,
Kyle Lowry. I'm so glad we don't have to play him in the first round.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, I think the Hawks are a better team, but I'm so glad we're not playing the Heat because the Heat I thought because I think we would play down to the Heat so hard and like have them a slugfest of a series.
I don't think we would
Like,
play down. I think that they don't like the Heat. I think that would play harder against them.
I'm just saying like just slow and like at Jimmy Butler's pace.
Spoelstra would have like muddied up that fucking series for sure.
well, it's like Kyle Lowry would it's going to be a slugfest with Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, and them. Lowry probably dragging somebody down from behind, going after
Running up underneath somebody when they're shooting a jump shot or something like that.
And Jimmy Butler's just tough as nails, so it's going to be a tough series regardless. Not to mention all the mental aspect of it from last year being such a brutal series where, it literally came down to a missed jump shot.
That was, oh my God.
I thought
Talk about having a heart attack. Last year's playoff run in general, it was, I mean, the first series was the least anxiety inducing series of all time. We just destroyed KD and Kyrie, but like the Bucks and the Heat series, I was just the most anxious person. I'm the same, Cody, you're saying earlier about nervous. I just get a pit in my stomach during playoffs. I just don't want us to collapse because we're a very collapsible team. So it's you can but also we're sick at the same time.
That's a good point. This team is it can fold. They can fold. They've shown it. So this is going to be I think when it comes to talent, there's no team with more talent. Now there's more talented players like Giannis and Jokic and all those guys but their teams are not nearly as talented or stacked as the Celtics squad. So it's really just, I think this playoffs run is just going to be a mental test for them. Can they keep it going when the going gets rough? Can they keep it together and buckle down and grind out hard wins? So
I think you're gonna see them focusing. I think they're really gonna focus and like buckle down this playoffs.
Yeah,
they're gonna need to actually do. Like you saw what they did to the Bucks and they beat them by 40 when they felt like playing.
They're going against two MVP. Well, Embiid yet to be seen, but I think he's the favorite to win the MVP now. I don't know why I just raised. I'm not raising my hand. So yeah, I think you're gonna have to go through two MVPs to get to the ring, and then who knows, maybe a third when you play in the finals against Jokic. So it's gonna be a brutal road.
I honestly just think it was strategic. I don't even think Jokic wanted MVP.
No, he says that before. He's like, I don't care about this. I don't want to be part of this stupid ass discussion.
It would have been really annoying if he won. The discussion would have been super annoying. Like I guess you can have the discussion, but it would have just been the only thing talked about all summer.
Like Jokic is a weird superstar.
Doesn't matter who wins, they're gonna talk about it all summer.
He's my favorite.
I only gave it to Embiid because he complained a lot. And then if Giannis gets it, it's gonna be Jokic had better.
Are you kidding me, Jaylen Brown? What is that?
I think it should have been Giannis if anything, but
yeah, Giannis is averaging like 35 and 5 on like 55% shooting, which has never been done before.
Yeah, and that's like, and then the argument for Embiid is his points per game. It's like, and it's like Giannis is also like top 5 in scoring in the league, so it's not even that much of a plus. And then he's also probably the better defender, and like doesn't like do all the bad Embiid stuff.
Embiid takes a lot of plays off on defense.
They both they're both pretty. I don't know. Embiid might be running himself down, but Giannis like didn't even play that many minutes this game. He was just so effective this year. He like played. He'd have games with like 30 points in like 28 minutes. Like,
yeah, he was wildly efficient. He would go out there, he would put his foot down and say, "Okay, I'm not playing for the night."
I think there's numbers that can sway you either way for all three of these guys. Like, so that's why it's a narrative award. Like, what's the narratives? Embiid has never won it. You have two other two-time MVPs up against them, and the guy just showed up in these big. And Embiid has showed up in all these big games.
I wish he played against Jokic the second time. That would have been
the second time. He didn't play against Jokic. So that's not a great look. That probably dinged him, if anything.
He hasn't played in Denver since like 2017 or something like that.
They think it's because They think it's because the elevation they actually they gave that for him for rest. Like when it's on the schedule and they look for what he should rest, it's like, oh, let's just choose the one that sucks anyway for him.
Yeah, it's also like it doesn't affect you because it's not a conference game or anything like that. Like,
I don't. Well, the thing is, I think Giannis and Embiid are pretty damn neck and neck. I just think Giannis should win it because just the whole fact that the Bucks have the #1 record too. Like he's just he's arguably like you can make a very good case for him to be the best player in the league, and then the fact that he has the best team, which is not really, you can't even argue that. Like, so he could be the best player in the league and he's on the best team. So it's like,
I don't think it's a debate. I think he's easily like it's the same thing. It's like the LeBron conversation. Like LeBron James is the most valuable player every single year. Well, it was not anymore, and obviously, even still, you could argue.
probably about 12 years straight where it was him out of the 18 years.
And then like you have Steve Nash winning them, and then like
What the fuck was that?
And not saying those guys didn't deserve it because they balled out, obviously, but like it's not the who's the best basketball player award. It's the
who has the best story almost.
Yeah, it's a narrative award, I'm telling you. And I know the Bucks have dominated. They've been really good all year. They're the #1 seed, but I mean the 76ers have been the best team in the second half. So if you want to chalk that up to like recency bias, then
one thing that's never been mentioned in the narrative, which would be if they're in a bigger market. Like I say, I think like in the Heat, this would be in like when it was Heat LeBron, like this would have been in his thing. Like I feel like the winning streak they went on this year should be like a moment this year that almost is like a performance. Like didn't they win like 18 straight? No one gives a crap about that. Straight. Yeah, like that should be like on his bullet list of like maybe like that should be as big as like Embiid's crazy game, in my opinion. Like that, you should almost like there's like a team award sometimes for player of the month. That should be like a moment of the year, like type for like, I don't know how good his team was. I don't know.
Best run of the year.
It was a team. It wasn't him that was doing it because there was a few games in there that he missed too that they won.
But one thing that's not talked about enough too is that I also just don't like the Sixers as much. I like the Bucks more than the Sixers, but the also Embiid has a guy with averaging 20 and 10 led the league in assists.
Well, I feel like he led the league in assists from giving the ball to Joel Embiid, but
yeah,
that probably helps.
But I'm glad that Jokic actually didn't care because I hope he has gas for the playoffs.
Yeah.
How weird is it that I don't know if this has ever been the case. The top 3 MVP candidates are all non-US.
It's been like that the last years, right?
I think that 4 out of the top 5 aren't US born players, and 3 out of the 5 didn't even play in the US until they came to the NBA.
How crazy is that? That's what the league is now. Like the best players come from overseas. That's nuts to me.
Well, I mean, there's always been a guy up at the top of the list that's been a foreign-born player.
It's a big man's league too. Look at like it's been like the league's been dominated by Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis the last 3 MVP cases, and they're all like 6'11" or taller. Remember when we had like Marc Gasol and like Tyson Chandler as our All NBA first team bigs? like they were good, but like damn, like Mark was probably a top 20 player, but that's it.
Hey, he's got a defensive player of the year too.
Didn't he?
But also that shows the time. He was really good, but like compared to like what we have now, like the best players in the league are the big men now.
Yeah. He got that. You want to talk about narrative-based awards? I mean, all of it's narrative-based, basically, because Marc Gasol got Defensive Player of the Year, and he was only second team All NBA that year.
I was gonna say, yeah, he won second team All NBA the year when D-Boy.
Yeah, so like it's all narrative-based. Like who wants to be talked about the most? Whether you want to say that the D-Boy is narrative-based or the All NBA teams are narrative-based.
I think that was a great.
Don't like that contracts are connected to All NBAs and stuff like that when it's writers that are writing about it and deciding who gets those awards. I don't like that. But there's really no other way to say, hey, this guy is this good or that good.
Maybe just have like the coaches vote on it.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know who the perfect. Yeah, you got bias. You got like
there's always going to be a
bias who don't like players.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're trying to eliminate the most amount of bias, and you can't extrapolate it to the whole nation, right? It can't be a nation vote, like the people like fan vote, because that's how you get like Kobe Bryant in his last year in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I'm fine,
despite
which I'm fine with. Like for an All-Star game and stuff like that, I'm fine with. If like All NBA and that, I don't
but
like
that's
that.
financially tied to people, you know.
The All-Star game's not as much as like All NBA's. Like All NBA's triggered super maxes now. Where you can make 35% of the team's cap. An
Well, right,
All-Star game that much.
but that's what I'm saying. You can't have like a
Yeah, man.
frivolity of a
Has
fan vote.
JB won a All NBA yet?
He's got one so far. I think that's why you have to have like 2 and 3 years or something like that. It's like
Yeah, that's
trigger.
what because I think he needs it this year to trigger it. That's what I was wondering.
Is he going to get there, you think?
I think he make as a forward.
Maybe as a third
Everybody's
team.
pushing for him as a forward. On
He's
third team.
played small forward like every game, I guess.
Yeah, he started basically every game as small forward. Except for them random ones where we sat everybody and he was like coming off an injury, so he played.
Yeah.
Seems like it's been a very sloppy game.
Nobody's
So
really.
far.
It's a 3:30 start, and the Celtics starters haven't played in over a week.
That's such a lame excuse.
If
It's
we're
like,
gonna pick a game for the Hawks to cover, it would be this game.
ooh, John Collins just rolled his ankle.
I feel like it's always a bit rusty in the beginning of the nerves and such.
Definitely.
I mean, but luckily our team is just full of guys that have been in the playoffs.
The 76ers game was pretty sloppy too, from what I was catching out of waves of nausea.
Catching
Mikhail's
between
doing well.
the bathroom or
Mikhail's good. Mikhail's a good pick. I want to pick either Mikhail or Fultz for my next year's most improved.
You gotta look at what the
Mikhail
numbers
is
are.
nice.
He has his own team basically.
Yeah, is he under contract for a little while over there?
I think so, and I think he
Yeah.
also he seems to already like it, and they already love him. Like I think he's a good vibes guy. I don't think he's the type to ever really ask to go somewhere. He seemed like he wanted to stay with the Suns so bad.
He played 83 games this year. He doesn't like he just hoops. He just wants to hoop. You gotta love that about him. I mean,
And he
granted,
rises to the occasion.
the 83rd game he played 4 seconds fouling so he can get subbed out. But
I love that. I kind of like him and Dinwiddie together. I think they complement each other well. I really like Spencer Dinwiddie a lot. He's just high energy buckets.
he's
With
a
Cam Johnson.
he's
Cam
a
Johnson,
one-on-one
too.
bucket too.
Also, now Mikhail has a sweet nickname. He has the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Brooklyn Bridges. Let's go Tatum.
I mean, no Bridges in Arizona, that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't know.
It's the desert. There's no water.
Yeah.
Put a bridge over.
Maybe there's a
I
land bridge. Over a
Like,
canyon.
put a bridge there only bridges are like going over the interstates.
Hey, there's some hot sand. Maybe you need a bridge over that.
Who's your defensive player of the year?
Derek White.
But
No, I think it's probably.
although seriously, I could see him getting some votes. He
he's gonna get
hustles.
second team All NBA defense for sure. At least
Maybe it could be all defense or something like in I don't know, at least that maybe along those
see him
lines.
second team All defense. Yeah.
Maybe
Guard
Brook,
defense in the league.
Brook made me for me just because the Bucks are so good at defense.
Brook Lopez.
Yeah,
I mean, you could also see Triple J. I mean, his just the amount of different players that he can cover too. He's very versatile. But the only thing with him is that he fouls out like half the time.
I was about to say I think that's like also like a defensive skill. So it's like if you're lacking that way, if you like you're playing yourself out of the game with your defense. So.
It's very weird, and I guess we saw it happen last year, or you can argue that the defensive player of the year winner, if it is Brook Lopez, he's like solidly the third best defender on his team. So like, how does that make any sense? And Marcus Smart won it last year, and you could argue Robert Williams is a better defender than him.
Tatum guards better players.
Yeah. So like you're seeing that happen more. So that's why I wouldn't give it to Brook.
Yeah.
I would listen to Bill Simmons. He convinced me on Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I can see Evan Mobley too. He's really
Evan Mobley just will win some in the future too. I mean, he's a freak.
Yeah.
And obviously the person we're excluding is Jaren Jackson, and he is the favorite. to win
Y'all
it.
are
So.
excluding him. I said him. You guys are excluding him. Don't let me
Hey,
in with
Oh, my bad. I
it
wasn't
might look
listening.
silly. The Lakers could
What else is new?
beat him first round. The 80 could bully JJJ so bad.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
I think 80's gonna honestly bully him pretty bad. I think it's
It
I think
depends
Often.
on what
they
80
don't
you're
have
gonna get.
their big. They have no Adams either.
No Adams. They got really no size on that team.
You think the Lakers would win that series?
I think that's the biggest upset potential.
There's definitely a good shot that they could do it, but it all depends on whether or not AD and LeBron can keep it up. Because I think the Grizzlies are good enough that they can steal a couple games. It's going to go 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are dinged up. No Brandon Clark's gonna hurt too.
No Brandon Clark. They got
No
no
Steven Adams, like you said.
Adams. There's another guy over there that's hurt too. They're
I love how that's 3 tomorrow, not the late game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try and do the West Coast games early.
You know what's gonna be the biggest upset? Well, I guess the Lakers over the Grizzlies would be the biggest upset, but the
Yeah.
Warriors over the Kings.
The Warriors are favored, I think, which is pretty funny. So is it even an upset at that? I'm so excited for
Favorite is
that
an
tonight.
upset. That's a
I'm,
good.
stay,
That's a
I'm
good
trying to
question.
stay awake for that game. That game's gonna be so fun tonight.
Yeah, it's
That's
gonna be
tonight.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
That might be one of the funner series. Honestly, I think if the Knicks play pretty energetic now, I think the Knicks Cavs could be fun too, because Donovan Mitchell is always
That's going to be so much fun between those two teams. That's going to be a
Donovan
shoot.
Mitchell's fun.
There's a lot of narratives in that game.
I think the Cavs take it though, because
Yeah.
the Knicks rely on Julius Randle to win them games, and the Cavs are sitting there with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, who we just talked about as a Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
And Donovan Mitchell can and he's been in enough of these big games where he's not phased by it. He's always going to get his buckets and he could explode for points.
A lot of effort.
Yeah,
I think Jalen Brunson's going to abuse him on defense though.
maybe. Look at you, Mr. Jalen Brunson.
Or
I was wrong. I
Brunson.
will gladly admit that I was wrong. I thought Jalen Brunson was way overpaid with that contract, and he's come out here and he's hooped like a motherfucker.
Listen, I don't think you're the only one who didn't see that one coming. Who was like, I think it's a good deal. They get a true point guard. Didn't see his All NBA performance. All NBA
He's
second
like
team.
on
Whatever.
level all the time, strong legs, never off balance. Just gets to wherever he wants to get to on the court and just sets up the offense so well.
That's a team I'm glad we're not going to see or hopefully not see the Knicks. They're another tough grind out team.
And I think the Cavs will win because of the fact that we were just talking about who's better, and Darius Garland wasn't even mentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
An all-star. Was he an all-star this year?
No,
I don't think he made
I think
it.
he snuck in. I think he it was, or did they had 2? Was it?
I think it was Jared Allen. I think it was the other one.
He might have been.
Darius Garland.
He could have been this. He could have been that last year or this year, but I think Jared.
He was last year, I think, for sure. One-time All-Star. Yeah, that was last year, I think.
Well, it's like All-Star games also turn into the Pro Bowl for football, where it's like guys like, hey, I turned an ankle 3 weeks ago. I don't feel like playing in the All-Star game.
Jimmy Butler.
I mean, didn't Jokic check in for one?
Jimmy Butler doesn't want to go. He was happy not to be on the team.
Yeah, I'm sure the way that guy grinds every night, like I can't imagine he feels like going to play in an All-Star game where it's like, hey, nobody's actually going to play.
Tatum certainly played.
Yeah,
Played his fucking
Played
ass off.
very well.
That was I like seeing his. I did love his performance at the All-Star game. Obviously, I turned it off at near the end because I was like, oh, that's kind of stupid. But the play that sticks out to me the most is not the 55 points. It's when LeBron, I think he alley-ooped it to himself and jammed it, and Tatum immediately got the ball and went down the other end of the court and did the same exact thing.
Yeah,
And I love that he tries to meet LeBron's level when he plays against him.
Yeah, I mean, one of the plays that stands out for me this year for the Celtics was Tatum hitting that turnaround bucket on LeBron in that game in LA that went into overtime.
Yeah, that was a great bucket.
Shout out Smart, taking a charge and preventing a three.
Mm-hmm.
Nice ball movement.
Where are you guys compared to that?
There's a half a second left in the first quarter for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm right where you're at, Jacob. I saw that and then
You guys see that Bobby Williams block over there? Just eating up shots at the rim.
I think I'm one possession behind you.
so
I mean, good first quarter spread, that's for sure.
yeah, you love to see that. I take a 10-point lead in a playoff game.
Go.
Now it's gonna be less because he's going to the line.
I don't mind these jerseys, but they look too much like Bucks jerseys to me.
The green one?
Yeah. Mhm.
It's just really dark. It's just like really dark green in a way that's Bucksy to me.
I don't see it. I think
What?
you guys are wrong.
What do you mean you don't see it? They're the same color. The Celtics aren't even that shade of green.
I think you guys are wrong.
I think that's the same color as the Bucks jerseys, basically.
Yeah, and that's it for the first quarter. The Celtics are leading the Hawks. Was it 29-19?
Oh my day.
So nice start. They're covering the spread.
All my stuff's looking really good right now.
I don't think I'm even close.
No, I'm not doing good because Brogdon, but Tatum's doing well.
We got 17 PRA. Jalen's got 10 PRA. Marcus Smart's got 3 rebounds and assists already. We're on pace. Trae Young has 2 points.
I was gonna say I like Trae Young's points over at 25.5, but I actually didn't say that, so I can't hold it against him.
Maybe Rob's doing well so far. I feel like I've been seeing oops to him.
Yeah, he's got that energy. I feel like we did a good job this year. I know we had injuries, so it wasn't really like we were load managing him or anything like that, but
I thought we were at the end there a little bit.
It might have always been. Who knows? Sometimes when he says he's injured too, it might be load management, like I don't know, to prolong recovery. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're sitting because of an injury, I don't call it load management. I call it like load management. Like, hey, like Al was on load management this year. He doesn't play back to backs or anything like that.
No.
You know, Brogdon in a way is on load management because he only plays backup. He doesn't start. Like we started Noah Vonleh over him in one game this year. Like there's no way that should ever happen in an NBA game. No. Shout out to the Massachusetts native Noah Vonleh, big listener. You know.
Yeah, that was short tenure.
Who's your sixth man of the year?
That was Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, probably Broggy.
I mean, I kind of changed my mind on the argument about quickly starting too many games because that is kind of a part of being a sixth man is when somebody goes down, being ready to step up and play. But I think that Brogdon's just been more consistent because, like, when Quickly comes off the bench, his numbers are so much worse than Brogdon's. And when he starts, he plays like 40-something minutes because he plays for Tom Thibodeau, and Tom Thibodeau doesn't know how to make a substitution to save his life. So his numbers get a little bit better when he starts, but when he's coming off the bench, Brogdon's just been so much more consistent on a better team with a better record.
And he plays defense. Not that that's a thing they care about.
I mean, it's a six man, so I mean, it's a little bit of everything in that. So
yeah, listen, it's Brogdon for me too. We had this debate last week, but it Quickly is favored.
Yeah, well, the thing is, aren't the Knicks are better with Quickly starting, and the Celtics are better with Brogdon. And like Brogdon serves the role as a bench player, whereas Quickly is just they have a lot of guards, so he has to be on the bench, and he's better when he starts. I feel like Brogdon's like the traditional sixth man. He's like our version of Manu for this team if we win, you know.
Well, there's been six men that have started like more than 30 games. I mean, I think Lamar Odom, they said, started like 31 games the year he won six man.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it just depends on your role. I feel like Brogdon's role on the team. He was brought in to basically be the sixth man. I feel like Quickly like should start probably.
I don't know.
With Thompson. I think I don't know.
Thompson's obviously starting. You're not taking him out of the starting lineup. But like, are you gonna?
Yeah, they should move on from RJ Barrett, trade him.
That's what I'm thinking that he should start with Brunson.
Yeah, you should trade Barrett. I love Barrett, but you should trade him.
No, that's actually foolish. You can't. He's a a wing that can score. Like he's not a top 5 pick guy like he was drafted to be, but he's somebody that I think you could benefit from maybe moving to the bench.
Yeah. I just feel like his mentality, I don't think he would do well coming off the bench,
Well, yeah.
which is
Damn.
kind of on him.
Yeah, that Duke draft has been pretty iffy just because of Zion's injury and then like those two kind of being weird.
Cam Reddish is like low key the only one. Well, is he on the Knicks too?
He was on the Hawks and the Knicks, and I don't know if he got traded at this deadline though.
Did he get traded? Yeah, he got traded
part of
to
the
he got traded to the Trailblazers for.
I was just
for
going to
Hart.
say he could definitely be one of the random wings on the Blazers.
Blazers have so many just random players over there. Like if I'm Damian Lillard, I'm like, please just let me leave.
That's
He
the
doesn't
net.
want to leave.
I know. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's the Nets right now, honestly. I was so confused by them. I think they're good and they should, I mean, they just have to do moves, but they were just like they like kind of like the Blazers for a bit. I think the Blazers ended up moving some people, but like the amount of wings they had was just outrageous. Like the amount of like I think the Nets right now have like 5 NBA solid wings, just like their whole rotation's wings.
Yeah,
The
and
Nets
they were playing Embiid tough. They're a little bit undersized still in the center position because they had to keep doubling Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, like 90% of the teams in the league have to double Embiid.
Yeah, but they have a good defensive center, and Nick Claxton too. It's like
Doesn't have the weight.
he's skinny.
It's like Rob Williams going 1-on-1 with Embiid. Like it works a little bit, but not great because Embiid's just a horse.
Yeah, one thing about Nick Claxton is what I kind of didn't watch the Nets as much the second half of the year. What happened to his like decoy? Like he was a top 3 for a little bit. Was it because the Nets got worse?
I
It was
think
the Nets
so.
playing so well, and they had such a good record, and then
Yeah, he had a crazy block rate in the beginning too, and then but he maybe the team like KD probably was making him be able to be a deep boy.
yeah, he
This
also
would certainly
started
help.
hooked too.
Yeah, I just remember him like I just remember hearing about him so much in like the beginning of the year. It was because
I just think they fell out of favor. Like that, that nobody's really talking. Like Jacques Vaughn is, I think, a coach of the year candidate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The way he's like held the pace. Like everybody's like, oh, the Nets are gonna drop, and they have, right? But like they're gonna drop out of playoff contention. But no, they like stayed relevant the whole year.
Yeah, they
And
stayed just above water.
Well, who do you have for number 1 for that award though?
it's gotta be Mike Brown, right?
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's another award where it's like who's the actual best coach in the league, but I don't think it's Mike Brown, but he has the best narrative and story, and
But he was the best coach this year, I think.
Jesus, love these.
Go Rob.
I think that he's the best coach this year, though. I think that if he took any of the other coaches in the league this year and put them on the Kings, I don't think they did what he would have done.
I think what Jacques Vaughn did is quite impressive. Yeah,
No, I still think that's very impressive too. But if you put Jacques Vaughn on the Kings, I don't think that the Kings are a 2 seed.
it's tough. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
Jenkins too for dealing with the Grizzlies
Yeah, deal with all the bullshit they've gone through.
and injuries too. They're just a machine no matter what. They're like no matter what. Like you just lock them in for a top 3 seed every year. It seems.
yeah. Their ascension has been pretty good, and it is quite good that they've stayed relevant despite all the issues with Ja and Brandon Clark going down and Steven Adams like being out for extended amounts of time.
Yeah,
Quite impressive.
Sit at 2. That's pretty hot. Like pretty insane. With John Morant, John Morant's playing right?
Yeah.
He was no, yeah. What am I thinking? He was playing at the end of the year.
Whoa, what
Yeah,
the
I
hell
know.
was that, Brogdon?
Brogdon just gets
Oh
his.
my god, what a pass!
yeah, Brogdon's been playing unbelievable this game, bro.
I think he's like
watching us ahead of you guys, just trying not to say anything, and it's just wild.
No, I know.
he's a great locker room presence, I think, for this squad. We're talking about like maturity and will they collapse again in the playoffs or oh Jesus.
Dude, his interviews always get me fired up.
Sadiq Bey just diving into Jalen Brown's knee. That's not great. Fuck.
Every interview with him is always like, I just love playing a role on this team for this team to win a championship. Everything he says always ends up being like, I just want to play for a winning team. And it's like, let's go, Brogdon. I love
Yeah,
you.
I think he's a guy who is like, Al Horford's the same way too. He's like the de facto old guy, the chief of amongst the chieftains. So, um, but I do like Brogdon's always. I think he's very much locked into this playoff run and getting the job done.
City
Which is
Brogdon's
necessary.
assist tonight, Jacob, or just the points?
just did points.
Oh, because he's dishing the ball out.
Yeah, he's
I know
dominant.
that pass to Rob was pretty sweet, actually.
It was smooth.
Just drag
I
the guy.
love those,
out. You just
like
drag-
those underhand passes are always so sick.
I love a nice underhand just skip pass across.
And that they look so sweet, especially when someone tries to kick it. And it's like, even though they didn't mean to like even throw it through someone's legs or even near someone, you know what I mean? I love when the defender helps it and makes it look even cooler. With
Yeah, that was
those
the last podcast we did. Somebody nutmegged somebody so bad in the first play of the game. Like they nutmegged Rob for a dunk. I was like, what the fuck?
Celtics are pulling away here, 25-42. This might be a sweep. This might be the first sweep of the
we look very good.
not the first sweep, but the one of the few sweeps, if not the only sweep in the first round.
No,
Hey, my two guys for the big bet, Jalen and Brogdon for points. I think we're gonna dominate them, but I think Jalen will still get some run this game.
yeah, I mean, Tatum's not really even playing at this point. I mean, I haven't seen Tatum, I think, in like the whole second quarter. And
Or they're just gonna make the basic. I feel like Tatum is a big third quarter guy. I feel like they're just gonna be like, Tatum, this is your quarter. With Brogdon too. I don't know. Brogdon's been playing a lot. I don't know.
They might just
Yeah.
this series with the guards of DeJounte and Trae Young or whatever. Like I think they might just keep Brogdon and White playing a lot more than the other guys.
No, what I need is us to be up enough that I need some PP action.
A little
And
fast
it's-
PP action.
Yeah, I need Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard could come out here and just like really. If he came out and just started demoralizing, he could just cross up Trae Young. I just see it in my head right now.
Hey, last time I saw that guy play, he dropped a 30-point triple double. So
Dude, he's such a good. He was so good last year in the playoffs. He stunk in the finals, but in the playoffs, he was such a good like spark plug dude. That sometimes just have a random like 20, like not 20, but in the teens, just something like that.
He'd be like a solid bench point guard for any other team. He just
gets the energy going though. Like he's a big energy guy, and that's what you need sometimes. But
fortunately plays on the most guard dominant team in basketball.
Yeah, now we have Brogdon too. It's like, do you want that spark plug that might work or might not work? Do you want Brogdon to come in and be like, steady pace? Hey, I'm gonna get you some buckets. I'm gonna set up the offense right and play some good defense. Like,
I mean, it's just unfortunate for him. He's not as good as Marcus Smart, Derek White, or Malcolm Brogdon. It's unfortunate. I mean, it doesn't mean he's bad.
and when you go big with
Yeah,
this,
that's pretty high standard.
Jason Tatum out there too being ball handlers. So
That was like me in Pembroke basketball, where when I was getting put up junior year, I was on varsity, but I had Drew Norton and all those guys, and I was basically like Peyton Pritchard, and the coach was like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "No," so I quit. that actually was what happened. The coach Seward like sat me down and was like, "You're gonna make the team, but you're not gonna play that much this year because basically no guards graduated, and there's 5, so you're just gonna. But we want you to be on the team next year, so you're basically just be a practice squad person this year." And I'm like, "That sounds awful."
in high school basketball,
And we sucked.
a team that was not good.
Who was the guards ahead of you? Domingos?
No, he was already gone. Domingos. He's a courts legend though.
Yeah, he's probably the best guy of our friend group. He's probably like the best player.
He was-
because
he
he
was
shoot the
J.R.
dead out of the
Smith.
ball.
He's like Jared Smith. He's streaky. He can go crazy.
And he's fucking fast. And I hate to gas him up because he's just annoying.
No, all you gotta do is take the wind out of him. Go take him to the block, and you just know what to do.
Well, yeah, but, he can pick you. He's picked me clean.
I work on that.
Hit him with
hand.
the high post hook.
We got the bees are over here. Look at this.
I know it's a good time for the winter. I mean, I guess it's not winter seasons because our playoffs are always in the summer, but it's a good like the Bruins and Celtics carried this year.
Yeah, I mean seriously, we're in a serious contention here for having a two championship winning teams at the same time.
Do you think they do the breaks together, or
The Sox are not there.
no?
No.
The Sox poopy.
They're already 8.5 games out of for first place in the AL East.
Yeah,
Dude,
unless the fucking Patriots trade Mac Jones, they're gonna stink this year too.
Well, they may stink even without him.
They're gonna stink with him. They're gonna stink without him.
The Red Sox being bad is kind of good for my wallet though, because I live so close to Fenway now that I just go for $20.
Yeah, I already went to one game this year, the second game, and I was like, well, this team sucks, but I'll definitely be coming back to more of these.
Yeah,
Dude, I went last night and it was like the best night of the year weather-wise. Saw like Ohtani and Trout for $26 each.
Damn, you went to the. I'm jealous. I was thinking about picking up a ticket.
Jimmy's going today, so they're probably still playing the Angels, right?
Yeah, Ohtani might even pitch tonight. I don't know. Because he's not pitched since like Tuesday, I don't think. Because I was kind of looking if he would pitch against us last night. But no, he just
Is he
like
still bad when he plays in the AL or no? DH for them?
yeah,
or no?
I think. But now it doesn't even matter.
DH
They
is
have-
universal.
Yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't
is it?
matter anymore. Yeah, but he would be DH anyway. So
Wow, he's just that good that even if they don't need him to bat, they're like, yeah, can you please hit for us because you're really good.
Yeah, he's like the best baseball player. I mean,
Of all
he could be like the best player of all time.
yeah. Well, you
And
see,
they have Mike Trout, who they were arguing for being like a first ballot Hall of Famer, and they still can't win.
He is like the
Yeah.
best. He is like the best. Mike Trout is like one of the best players of all time too.
he's like one of the best positional players for sure. Like he's just like a pure great positional player, just perfect at everything. But yeah, no, it doesn't matter in baseball.
You guys really got to focus in on this play. Holy shnikes!
But in terms of like total value that a single player can provide, nobody's ever done it besides maybe Babe Ruth. And basically, baseball was completely different sport. Considering Ohtani wouldn't even have been allowed to play when Babe Ruth was going.
Yeah.
But
Who's number 12 on the Hawks?
That's Hunter, right?
yeah, DeAndre Hunter, yeah.
They're just hunting him out, is what they're doing.
I'm thinking-
Holy shnikes!
The
but one last-
hunter is being hunted.
One last little tidbit about Ohtani. I saw today that he has the lowest ERA in the league by like a lot. He has like a 0.4 right now. So he's the best pitcher in the league this year, and he's also like top 5 hitter.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's ridiculous. Like it doesn't. And he also destroyed us in the World Baseball Classic. Like he carried he carried Japanese team to like #1 and like also closed against Trout. It was like, what the hell, dude? This guy's a superhero. Like,
Yeah, he's gonna win MVP. He's having a hell of a year. It's unfortunate that he's a fucking angel. That sucks.
Get that guy to the
They-
Marlins.
I think that division is weak though, because they were like #1 like before the series in their division. So maybe they'll sneak in the playoffs. Maybe Trout can get some playoff experience.
They need some more pitching. They have the bats, obviously.
First ballot Hall of Famer, like in the height of his primes, never made the playoffs. I don't think.
They need
Maybe
some playoff experience. We don't know how he performs in the playoffs, but he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, we saw it in the WBC.
if LaMelo will get healthy, that'll be LaMelo Ball.
He is fun to watch.
If he can get healthy, it's a big if because I don't think he can. But I don't know.
Wow, Trae Young is having a awful game.
I tell you, them boys were gonna dog him.
Well, it's just like he's just missing shots.
Yeah,
but you know that Derek
Derek
White is. Dude, Derek White definitely has so much to do with that. He's definitely just being so annoying.
Yeah, it was like,
Let's
hey,
go, Al. Al's
you
pumped
got off
up.
of Derek White, now you get Marcus Smart. Oh, cool! You got off of Marcus Smart, now you got Jaylen Brown covering you. Like,
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like this Celtics team is so loaded. It's like, damn, I just got brutalized by Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Al Horford, Tatum. Okay, well they're going to the bench. Oh fuck, here comes Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams and Grant Williams. Like fuck, that sucks. That blows.
it's that LeBron James moment when Kawhi Leonard came back in the finals. He's at the line, goes, oh fuck.
No, that's what definitely happens when Marcus Smart checks in. He has to be the most like the charges and all that. Oh my god, dude! I bet players are so happy when he subs out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the last couple of years, yeah, but now this year it's like, all right, Marcus Smart subbed out. It's like, all right, I got a little bit of a break. I got Malcolm Brogdon covering me now, so now my defensive load just got bigger.
Yeah, no, it's like we have either Allen waiting for you in the paint, who's like going to play perfect help defense, or like Rob, who's like a superhuman. Like
Yeah,
when it
Rob
comes
was
to
going
like,
to play
jump.
center field. It's
Yeah,
wild how
probably the springiest player, well, one of the springiest players in the league.
Wow,
so
Derek White is
fast.
amazing.
Yeah, this team is amazing, bro.
He's
Yeah,
he's
why are we
playing so
worried?
well.
Why are
I'm not
we
worried
worried
about
about
this Hawks.
Not at all. I mean, I'm on the podcast on record saying that I got him in a gentleman's sweep in every series and winning the finals.
I think this could
That's-
be a sweep.
Well, I
Doesn't
have us
matter.
winning it all, but that's just a nervous sports fan, you know.
Definitely.
I don't see any team in the league taking more than one game from us.
Well, that's crazy to say. We've had our hearts ripped out like
Bucks are
last year. So like of course we're a little bit jaded. You know,
I will stand.
hasn't been a lot of trophies being hoisted by the Celtics or the Bruins.
Hey,
And they've
we
been
have
in a lot of big games.
2008. We have the longest drought in Boston. Even the Bruins have won after the Celtics have.
We're way too spoiled, dude.
Yeah, our longest drought
That
is
is ridiculous.
Imagine living in Atlanta.
Ridiculous statement you just said.
Anything relevant.
It is like, but being a Boston sports fan is like an embarrassment of riches.
It really is. Like we're complaining.
Everyone likes to see us. Dude, the funny thing is, we get to the biggest stage, like the finals, and everyone like laughs at us. It's like, dude, we're in the finals. Your team doesn't do this.
No, like we're always competing. Our team's made 4 Eastern Conference Finals in the last 7 years.
Yeah, you'll have like a Bulls fan laughing at you. It's like, yeah, I gotta go watch the MJ documentary again.
Yeah, exactly.
All you have. We're like contention. Like even with Isaiah Thomas, we made the Eastern Conference Finals every year. We're just a good organization.
What 7 games with LeBron that year?
I know that was a heartbreaking. That team in general was so weird because it was just you just knew that you weren't going to win the finals. Also, the Warriors were the buzz thought. So it's like, but like just with
tough, though.
you knew it was too good to be true, but they're playing it so above their head. It was amazing. It was the funnest time. Remember that poster on like the Jason Tatum rookie poster on LeBron? That was so hype.
Everything. Like you knew. Like when I saw that, like I already knew Jason Tatum was gonna be a good player. When I saw that, I was like, no, he's gonna be a really good player.
Yeah, and Jalen was going off too. Jalen has some of those posters on LeBron.
Jalen's best post is on Giannis.
He's just set posters. Like his dunk
Which
reels.
one on Giannis? Which one is your favorite when he dunked on Giannis?
I have it on my phone somewhere. I'll post it in the video. But I saved it. It's a fucking amazing.
It's fun
picture.
to joke about, but people like Giannis and Jared Allen, though, I do appreciate the people that try to block literally every shot.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Jackson tries to block everything.
I mean,
Like,
listen,
it's not-
Giannis is always getting on the last laugh.
Dude, yeah, because he's probably Giannis is like he's chasing Tim Duncan right now, in my opinion, for the greatest power forward. I think he's already his like trophy case is ridiculous for his age. It's actually like MJ and LeBron like it's ridiculous. Obviously, it's weird because he's like his play style is not as like comprehensive and like holistic as like those dudes. Where like he's like not like he's not like the playmaker dude like those guys, but like. The fact that he's like 2 MVPs, a deep point, and a chip where he was like one of the best finals performances ever, and he's like 28. It's like he could win like 3 more chips, and then be like,
what was that last game you had in that last chip? Was it like
dude, 50,
24, and like 7 or something like that?
It was like it was like one of those Wilt things. It's like only him and Wilt have done the 50. It was 50, 15, and 5 blocks, I think.
That's so stupid.
Oh Jesus! Never mind. It's not. I thought it was on Giannis, but it's on OG Anunoby.
It's also a really good defender, though.
Yeah, that's 4 first-round picks value. OG Anunoby.
Yeah, but they were
gonna. Tell me more about how that Raptors team was gonna take one from the Bucks, but they couldn't even make the playoffs.
If they made it, they were going to, bro. We'll never know now. They just folded up. I don't know what the hell that was about.
They're not good. They're not good.
They were like one of the better teams in the second half.
And now Nick Nurse is like questioning if you want like he's being weird too. I don't know what's going on.
He might get fired.
Front office probably.
Like, what happened? He was just like He was just like maybe the best coach in the Eastern Conference like 2 years ago or something. Like he was touted at that while they were good at least. And now I don't know.
We ranked the coaches in the playoffs in one of our episodes, and he was like high up on the list in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, if they made the playoffs, he would have been up there. We didn't even do playoff coaches. We just did all the coaches in the West and the Eastern Conference. I think we had Missoula.
No, we did the 10. We did the top 10 for. We included the play-in teams.
You know
I
what's
think we had Missoula at 6 out of the top 10, right? Was it something like that?
Huh?
Didn't we have Missoula somewhere around like number 6?
I think I had him one step higher than you at 6. I think you had him at 7, maybe.
Yeah, I might have had him at 7. Yeah.
That's fair though.
Well, like,
Yeah, I mean, he's just a rookie head coach.
coaching
He
matters.
coaches by being inactive, basically.
Yeah, and coaching matters until you get like a stacked team like we have. Like, you know, if you have like a decent, like Nick Nurse did a really good job with the Raptors for the last few years with their team not being stacked, and like making, and like Brad Stevens with the Celtics, like, overachieving, making the Eastern Conference Finals with a team that shouldn't have been there. That's where coaching can help you. But like when you have a team with this much talent, like coaching comes second to the talent.
It's
Like,
just you got to be a good manager of ego.
That's
Yeah.
Kerr for me. That's the Kerr model.
Yeah, and Kerr also has the championships. Like he can just show up with a bowl full of rings and be like, "Hey, you guys want a couple more of these? Like you can listen to me." And
Well, I think he's like our ultimate. I think he's like our Phil Jackson era guy. Like he's the ultimate like superstar. Like he's just the ultimate manager, I think. And also he is Curry. Curry's probably like the best superstar to have of all time, maybe on your team. He's never going to cause you an issue, and he's just going to be like such a rock.
I'd probably say
Man,
second.
yeah, I'd love to
He's
have
up
him as
there.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, LeBron probably up there.
It's obviously, but like he's up there for like. I mean, no, I don't even know because LeBron's the type to leave. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
So, I was
Like,
gonna say Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant asked for trades. Like,
And
multiple
LeBron's
times.
LeBron's the coach.
Yeah, LeBron puts a lot of pressure that Steph Curry does not put on. Like LeBron's basically like, do what I want or I'm out. Like I don't think Curry does that.
LeBron would like he's been through what like 10 head coaches like like he
If
for
you
a
told me
minute there
for
in the
20, like,
Cavs.
goes for 20 years, I've been like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
He had me thinking Tyronn Lue wasn't that good of a coach because he was on that team and like LeBron was bullying him all the time. Like it seemed like Tyronn Lue was mostly there because LeBron liked him in real life. But like
Yeah.
Tyronn Lue's a sick coach now. Like
He's a really
I don't know.
Remember that guy they got from the Jewish basketball league? Like he didn't last a year.
David
Yeah,
Blatt.
yeah. That was a fun finals though because LeBron almost goddamn won that himself. With Mozgov and like freaking what
Timothy
was
Mozgov.
what was the Australian point guard? Deladova. Remember when
Deladova.
remember he went to the hospital because he played too hard?
Yeah, that guy was. I love it. You know,
He was
talk
an effort guy that he went to the hospital.
Trae Young and Derek White are having a battle for who has the worst hairline hairdo.
about.
It's hilarious. And I want to
I vote-
talk. I'm going bald. But
I
not
vote
that
Trey
bald.
just because Trey cares though. Trey loses because he cares. Derek White doesn't care, I don't think.
Yeah. Trae Young's hair blows.
He like is trying to he's trying to like make it like work. It's really odd.
Shave that shit up, dude.
They showed the live spread for DraftKings for the game, and the Celtics are favored by 26.5 points right now.
Yeah, it's an ass kicking so far.
Pick the
Barring
over.
a biblical fucking collapse, I think it's a good showing.
Yeah,
gonna
so
lie.
what I was afraid of with our bets with taking the overs on Tatum and Brown, that we're just gonna beat the brakes off them, and they're just not gonna play that much.
Oh my God, Jalen just had John Collins on skates.
Should I live bet Sam Hauser 2 3-pointers?
You might want to at this point. You
Dude,
might
right?
need extra minutes.
One 3-pointer for him and one 3-pointer for Peyton. That'd be that honestly odds might be high.
Coach, does that Jalen Brown move look familiar to you? Or?
Yeah, except you do like 6 more pivots and take a stroll through the Boston Common. Jalen's was much smoother. Hate to break it to you.
It's not hard to be smoother than me.
Your move is pretty deadly. It gets me. I look like John Collins out there all the time.
See, the thing is, Crowley, we don't, none of us play enough to ever be like shooting like wicked consistently ever, but you're always smooth as fuck, that's for sure.
I got the Alonzo Ball jumper.
That boy's smooth.
But none of us, like, I feel like whenever
my right hand on the left side of my head like a fucking dummy.
we all can't shoot for the first 3 games regardless, doesn't matter.
I can't shoot at all. So if I'm shooting, game's going poorly.
Dude, whenever we play with teams that don't pass us the ball, Cody, I make sure I get you the ball for 3 at least once, just to piss them off. I'm like, hey, let's do a screen for me. Pop out to the 3 real quick. Like, you're taking this one.
Well, that's why I liked when we had our runs for a bit, because it was basically whoever I could get out of like me, Dan, Jake, and Billy, and then whoever you guys could get out of like Jimmy and just I don't and we all liked each other and passed. It was great.
Those great runs with those ones, yeah.
I tried to get Steve the ball yesterday, and he ghosted me.
Yeah, that's my bad. I got home, I was fucking so tired, I forgot all about it.
No, you were working.
And then you fucking went out and just forgot what you did. So I think you pretty.
Yeah, see, Steve, your selfish decision leads me to make bad decisions.
Oh, there you go, Al.
This is your fault.
Who's the over on threes for Al? Was it 3?
Yeah. I don't think he's taken one, has he?
He just made one.
Nice.
I mean, I would feel worse for spoiling it for you if the game was close, but
Yeah,
right
what
now
the hell, dude?
they're up by 28 or 26. So.
The thing I'm concerned with is the Jaylen Brown points. I don't know if he's going to be in long enough for him to get to 25.5.
It's
Yeah, I don't think
how is it?
that's-
It's like not even halftime, and this game feels so done.
yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
just feels like a game already completed.
Steve is dunking and not shooting threes like I need him to. Like, dude, do you not understand you're down by 26 points? Like, shoot some threes, bud.
This is like because I'm remote, I watch a lot of like podcasts now and just like live shows, and I watched the Trill one that's so long. But they did the watch along for the Bucks Celtics, and this feels like that. I watched that, and it was just like the game lasted 1 second basically.
Yeah.
One of them is a Bucks fan, so the Scoob's a Bucks fan, so it's
He's
pretty
a big
awesome.
Bucks fan, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great show. I love that show.
No, I'm so happy with it. I liked it before, but I didn't work remote then, so I couldn't like just listen to stuff all the time. But then I like kind of got this gig, and then also Coley joined. Like, oh my God, perfect timing.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah, I was
drive,
pumped.
so I'm driving around for 10, 15 hours a day. So I'm like, hey, 3 hours of the day, I can just fuck off and listen to these guys bullshit. Like, sweet.
Dude, mixtape. When I was commuting from Pembroke to Dorchester, I basically would have a 3 hour commute in the summer in general, just because back and forth would be like an hour and a half almost. So yeah, mixtape was my best friend for a while.
Mixtape was like the best podcast.
Dude, it'd be 3 or 4 hours at least.
Shout out to Trill and Coley.
They also hated Jason Tatum.
Yeah, they were shitting on him. But fuck it.
Hey,
Yeah,
they were
like-
wrong. So was I.
They're a Jalen podcast.
I always like Jason Tatum, right?
I love Jason Tatum. I think he's so good, and I think we just have such high expectations. But
No, I'm talking about when we drafted him. We were like, who the hell is he? He has the lowest EFG and like of all the wings in the draft, like shitting on the pick because we could have had Markel. Who I was big on.
we dominated those drafts with Jalen and Jason. Holy crap!
Turns out you weren't wrong about the Markel pick, but he wouldn't be playing for the Celtics the way he's playing now.
No, yeah.
He would have playing for somebody else, and then he would have been
Well,
like,
I'd rather have him. Wasn't that the Lonzo one? It's crazy how he's leapfrog Lonzo now, because Lonzo is the most mysterious, awful injury of all time.
Yeah, exactly. It's that we talked about that too. Like out of all the three, Tatum's obviously far and away the best player in the draft. And he went third out of them. And then like Markel had such an awful start, and Lonzo looked like he was just going to be a consistent, really good point guard. And honestly, it's like Markel is easily in second place because Lonzo, unfortunately, and no fault of his own, he may be done. And you didn't get nearly as much value as you are going to get out of the other two guys.
Dude, they literally swapped dilemmas. They literally Fultz was the guy with the weird mysterious injury, and now it's Lonzo.
yeah, it's like the yin and yang over there.
Yeah, his injury was so weird. He had like a nerve neck issue, right?
Like
his shoulder.
or something. Yeah, they tried to change his jump shot, and then he got hurt doing it or something, and then they couldn't get it right. Something weird.
And then what? The Jalen one is like him or Brandon Ingram now, because Ben fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, remember you won being a second-year player, won Rookie of the Year. I remember that.
Donovan Mitchell was all talking about it.
And then so it's like Jalen's better than BI right now. I guess BI has a high ceiling, but like I think he is, but BI's really good.
I
He
think
doesn't
Donovan
play, though.
Mitchell's better than Brandon Ingram.
Oh yeah, I was just more talking the top three,
I
but
top three. Yeah.
yeah,
What
but
what
no, I
draft was Jokic taken in?
15?
think the one after Giannis maybe because
I think it was
back,
15, but you can fact check me on that. Seems like
I
it's
think it
right.
was the one after Giannis.
I mean, Giannis was the Kelly Olynyk draft. I don't want to hear anything about the Giannis draft. That was
That draft's one of the worst ever.
For a Celtics fan, yeah.
And
I
it's
was about to say that's what I'm saying.
dude, it's Anthony Bennett. Like Oladipo is the best in the lottery. Maybe it was like Oladipo and CJ McCollum are like the best in the lottery because it's Giannis is the best player, one of the best players of all time. But he was like late, and no one like the. It was Oladipo and like Cody Zeller and Anthony
Was it
Bennett,
Malcolm Brogdon in that draft?
maybe. But yeah, I know there's a lot of good players, but like every draft is good players. They everyone whiffed at the top though.
Missoula's coaching his ass off right now, bro. He's getting substitutions at the very last second to get shooters in the last shot of the half.
I don't know if he necessarily has to be a good coach this game. This game's such a fucking ass kicking.
Yeah,
You
but
just be like, all right.
good habits.
Well, yeah, of course. I'd rather him get all the reps and shit in.
Yeah. Get confidence up, baby. And that is your half.
Well, we got 20 seconds left. Hold your horses.
All right, you call out the half for me, all right, big dog? I told you you're gonna be heavy lifting on this podcast.
Well, I've come out of the after I yacked. I've come on the other end of the tunnel.
Boot and rally.
Tatum, baby.
Up by 30, baby. We have
Yep,
seven
and
points in the first half or something.
that is it for your half. Your Celtics are leading the Atlanta Hawks 74-44, a 30-point walloping.
Probably is Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
Big Hawks fan. Gonna be down in Georgia in the next month. You'll see me rocking all my Atlanta gear.
One name for coaching for like the coach of the year stuff is that doesn't. I feel like for the Eastern Conference, I wonder where do you guys rank him for Tibbs? Because I feel like he should be mentioned more for like how the Knicks were pretty like. I feel like everyone likes joking about Tibbs overplaying people and not ever adjusting, but like he clearly did something right this year.
He's like I think he's like probably a top 3.
Yeah, which he kind of it's kind of cool honestly because he is a joke, but like was more of a laughing stock like because he had a really few bad years. It felt like coaching. It kind of felt like he was just almost in there because of tenure, but now he kind of is killing it. But with the Bulls, he used to kill us.
Yeah,
Like
How loaded is the Eastern Conference with good coaches though? It's nuts. Like fucking Missoula, who's probably the weakest of like the bunch, just by proxy of being a rookie head coach. But like you have a guy like Nick Nurse, you have Bud, you have Tibbs, you have Doc, who's a sneaky good coach of the year candidate as well. And then Jacques Vaughn in the Nets, and then Eric Spoelstra. Like
he should have been there too if he wasn't like a sex addict.
Yeah.
Like that would be like he might have been number 1 in the East. Like that's how much it would have been. He might even be in Eastern. Well, he might be Rockets. I think. I don't know. I guess the Rockets might be taking him. That's what I've heard. He's like on their short list, and like the other names are not nearly as good because they fired all C-list already. They just were like the final whistle, and they're like, "Paul, you're out of here. That our players hate you."
Yeah, I can't blame anybody for taking Ime. He's just so good. But
Did he take? I'm sorry. Did I just ask this? I'm having a senior moment. Did he win Coach of the Year last year?
He could have. I think Monty did. I think did Monty or did Taylor Jenkins? If it was Monty Williams, that'd be pretty funny with what happened. But
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a good time to be a basketball fan, folks.
yeah,
That's ultimately what we're saying. Yeah, I mean, so what do your takeaways from the first half?
honestly, it's obviously great, but it's hard to take actual takeaways other than the fact that we're shooting well right now and like playing well and like doing well. Like it's great. We're in rhythm. For me, it's more of like, I guess the Hawks might not be as serious as maybe people. I don't think anyone really gave them much of a chance, but the Hawks aren't serious. That's my takeaway is the Hawks aren't serious.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like the Hawks just look like they're outclassed in every facet of the league. They look like they play in two different leagues. Like this is like a
Like
college team against a professional team.
this does not like help me figure out how well we match up against the Bucks.
No, and it's like you never want to overlook an opponent like that, but like the playoffs really start for us next round. You know.
Hey, we need all the rest we can get. If we can have another 4-0 type series to go into the because the Sixers, I mean, Joel's gonna be very tiring. So
Yeah, it's
let's
gonna
get this
be
over with.
get as much rest is gonna be huge for these playoffs. It was huge the last playoffs because we didn't get any after the first series. So
It was tiring. Yeah, I know. That's the
it's
thing.
gonna be a brutal stretch for the playoffs, man.
I'm so
It's not gonna be
excited.
easy.
It's gonna be. I think. Yeah, I Mark Titus I saw recently said that like this was like one of the worst seasons he's ever watched, and I would completely disagree because the parity is crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of teams I don't think there are a lot of championship contenders, barring a bunch of injuries, but there are a lot of people that could come out of the West. I think it's either us or the Bucks in totality. Like I think it's either us or the Bucks when it comes to the finals, but I
Yeah.
think the first few rounds of the West is gonna be so fun.
What was his point? That it was is it because of the management stuff and like sitting players? Was that his point?
He was basically making it a case of like I know what he means, but it's not better. Like he was basically making a case of it being this year was like the parity is actually not good because there's no like straight up greatness happening. Which first of all, look at the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
The Bucks and Celtics like the Bucks, Celtics, and Sixers have been on a tear of being the top three seeds. Like that's a dynasty almost of three contenders. And then
Hmm.
like the West parity's fun, and also we could be seeing the beginning of like Jokic run. We could be in the beginning of seeing like a Jokic type Dirk like winning every year a million games type run. Like I feel like it's silly. It's prisoner of the moment to think like yeah, that's also kind of saying that he'd prefer like he was basically saying like oh yeah we made like the Warriors dynasty for a bit, which is also still going. But like I
Yeah.
don't think the Warriors Cavs trilogy was not fun in my opinion. Had its fun moments, but I did not enjoy the fact that it was like, who can come close to maybe beating the Warriors in the playoffs?
Hmm.
That's kind of it sort of felt like every year. I'd much
Yeah, it
rather,
sucked.
yeah, this parity is sweet. Like maybe I think he was basically saying like, look, there's no 60 win games teams this year, that type of shit. Which like
Yeah.
the more even league, there's way more like the fact that we people like Shea like making the Thunder contender in for the plans
And the
crazy.
Mavs dropping off the planet entirely, like
You getting
That's
that's
how
fined
a
good the league
fifty
is.
thousand dollars for it.
Dude, and
that is
other
crazy.
that's how good the league is that like they can make it work.
It's been such a dramatic like league this year because of all
Yeah,
that parity.
I think it was Kyrie basically was drama. He was like the whole drama.
Oh yeah, people, I mean, it feels like it's an evergreen tweet, right? Like to Kyrie's on his bullshit again, but like he's on his bullshit again. Like it's fucking every single year with this guy, it's something.
He's a team killer. He's like the biggest team killer right now in the league.
Yeah, he literally just he killed the Celtics. He didn't kill him, but he stymied the growth that was supposed to happen with him here. And he's killing the Mavs. The the fucking Nets were a disaster. It's like, the guy is a hell of a player, but I do not want him anywhere near my team.
It basically feels like the Celtics was his experiment to be like, I want to be a number one guy after winning the chip. And that failed.
It
And then he
can't
was
be,
like,
yeah.
all right, I'll go to the Nets and be the number one guy. And then he also recruited KD and
Ended
failed.
up being like the three guy on that team at the end.
And then like so he didn't make it work with that, and then he didn't make it work with Luca, who are all like top five players in the league. So it's like he just needs to be with the perfect top five guy, which is LeBron. Like he just needs to go to the Lakers, and that'd be crazy, I guess. But it's like I don't know. Kyrie's dropping on my all time list. I mean, I don't even know where he was, but like if you can't make it work with KD and Luca, it's like I don't know. Just
I mean, that Mavs team is kind of thin, you know,
but like
outside of
all
those
time
two.
all time greats would be able to do it though.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's an all-time scorer and probably the best dribbler of all time, of the basketball. But
Smoothest dude
I don't
ever.
think he's one of the best players of all time.
He's
I
crazy.
mean, it's hard. It's hard because he's hit maybe the most important shot of all time. you know,
He's one of the guys. If you were to look at his basketball reference, he's always better than you think. Because he's always 50, 40, 90 almost. He's like
Mm,
wicked. Like I think he had two 50, 40, 90 years on the Nets. That's like pretty damn good.
yeah, that is good.
Which like, and you always look it up, and like I think his best Nets years, he was like 26, like 6 and 5 with like 50, 40, 90. Like he's always better than I think, but he just doesn't play much because he's bullshit.
Yeah,
And
it's like if you could ever
it's a
just
dark
figure that
cloud.
part of his shit out.
It's a big dark cloud.
Yeah, it makes it fun because like he's fun to watch when he plays, but it's harder. I own one of his jerseys. I'll never wear it like ever again. I don't even know if I could give it away.
Me too. I have a Celtics Kyrie jersey, dude. It's in the belt. It's in the like the bottom of my waist bin. Not
No.
waist bin. It's in the bottom of my like clothes I hoard for maybe wearing one time. And
Definitely not with that Tyler Hansbrough jersey. That's at the
no,
top.
that and my Jokic jersey are my prized possessions.
You got the Jokic jersey now. Which one do you got?
I just got my mom got it. She did a pretty good job. I like it. I'm glad she didn't get a home one because wouldn't really want a home Nuggets jersey. She got me she just got me like she got me the classic. It's this year they kind of made the alternative ones kind of like remixes on classics in a way. It was kind of like a Mutombo-ish color, like, and it was just like his real throwbacks of like dark navy. It's like dark navy with orange letters, basically.
Oh, that's the nice one. I like that one.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I was happy with it. They're really cool ones she could have gotten though, because the Nuggets have a lot. But out of like the normal jerseys, I think she got me one of the better ones. I
Those
do.
rainbow ones are sick.
I love the rainbow jerseys.
Oh, they're nasty.
They're so like they stamp like the late '80s era, like.
That's the Alex English jerseys. What those are?
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's like the Jazz one, but the Jazz don't really have anyone I want to get a jersey of.
No Laurie Marketing.
Yeah, I guess maybe in the future, but historically they're kind
I
of.
want to get a THT one.
Dude, I will. The real one would be a Sexton, just because the name.
The
Yeah.
Sex Man. Yeah.
Sextown, maybe remix it. Add like a W. Sextown.
That's another guy I hope that injuries get a little bit better for so he can figure it out.
He's only 23. He's really young. Still, he's been in the league forever. It seems like.
Feels like he's been there forever. Played for what? Arkansas or Alabama?
Alabama.
Bam. I remember his 1v5 game basically. It was
Yeah,
3v5.
Played 3v5 and he was still getting buckets and almost won them that game.
It was 3v5, but it was 1v5 because no one else was having the ball. Other people were just tired as hell and like role players, I think.
You're playing for Alabama. Like your next guy down is not going to be that good.
Hey, not anymore, dude. They're kind of.
Are they good?
No,
this
they
year?
choked. They choked. They were the
Well,
number
they're
one
the
team in the
one seed.
nation.
They could have been the best. They should have. They were the favorites to win the title, I think.
Yeah, I picked them and they fucking screwed it up.
Even
like
with
a
their
first round
drop,
picks on that
they
team or
were
what?
good because they had the worst morale type of stuff going on, and they still.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that the Brandon Williams kid?
Mhm.
Brandon Miller, yeah.
Miller.
Brandon Miller?
But are you mixing the news because of the Mikey Williams shit?
No, well, Brandon Miller, didn't he like
He gave a
He
gun
gave
to
a gun to somebody who killed
kid that shot
a
somebody?
girl, a woman, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's not great either.
It was a stray because I think I don't know, but then Mikey Williams, that like one of the biggest prospects in the world, just got in big trouble with firearms.
Yeah,
And he's a basketball player
Mikey Williams.
or is he football?
He was like no, he's number one. He's been like probably like the number one balls life high school player for a bit when it comes to like the mixtapes and stuff. He's probably like top 5 in his class, and yeah, because he's a huge guard. He kind of reminds me of Cade. He's just a huge guard. But
That's
yeah,
the new wave of players. Everybody's like the big guys are all turning into guard players.
Well, you see what happens with small guards like Trae Young. You can't like those guys are not going to be like your traditional first round pick, like first overall picks, just because they're going the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah, unless you can average like 30 a game at that size, like you're not gonna be able to do it.
Well, you got to be Steph Curry, basically,
Like
or
Trae
Damian
Young,
Lillard.
Steph Curry. but he can't do it as efficiently or as consistently.
And Steph Curry actually is fairly competent on defense.
Getting better.
You got to be to win that much.
Yeah. He's truly like the best point guard of all
It
time.
helps, like Steph.
A
Also
really good case.
it helps you have Draymond behind you when you're Steph too.
Yeah, Draymond was another guy who was a bit on the Bill Simmons podcast. They were talking about Depoy getting Depoy votes.
No,
he is like the best defender on that team.
That's sick, and that team also won 11 games on the road this year. So
that's fine. They're scary.
Are they going to win their 12th tonight? They might win their 12th tonight.
They're picking up a lot of steam.
Oh, I cannot wait for them to get washed by the Kings.
I know the Kings are fun as hell too. I'm excited.
The Kings are gonna. This is where the
Hawks just make everybody on that team look stupid.
Dude,
he's gonna make Steph Curry look stupid. Please, dude. Come on. What are we talking about here?
What about on defense?
He
Defensively, nobody on the Warriors can cover De'Aaron Fox.
And guess what? Guess what? The Kings can't do play defense either. So
yeah, but they can still score better than the Warriors can at this point in their careers.
The Kings are like historically the worst defensive team like of all time.
It's like historically like one of the best offensive teams of all time, like up there with the Warriors.
That's fine. I would still take the Warriors over the Kings.
I don't want the Kings winning the series.
Believe me, I want the Kings to win.
When the Kings knocked them out of the playoffs, I'm gonna listen to all the Warriors podcasts. Just listen to them cry.
Listen, I'm with you. I want this. My brain. I'm not. I am.
My brain is so warped. Like you've heard my takes on the Celtics going like gentlemen sweeping their way through the playoffs.
Hey,
like
this is good. This is good this is affirmation right here, man.
I don't see it with the Warriors this year. If you're that bad on the road, like you're not going to turn it on in the playoffs all of a sudden.
Yeah, but if any other team can do it, it's them.
Wiggins is back now, which is weird.
Wiggins is back, and if there's a team that can flip that switch, it is the Warriors. But I think every year that you try and flip that switch, you're getting a little bit older every year.
Yeah, it's like you saw it happen with Tom Brady. Like he can't do it by himself anymore.
The margin gets a little bit tighter every year when you get older.
Do you guys know the specifics of what happened with Wiggins exactly? Did he get like cheated on and like was like?
No, that was the rumors on Twitter. That was real nasty business. It was his I think it was his uncle or his dad or somebody who was like really sick and in the hospital.
So
that makes way more sense for like the time he took off then.
Yeah.
The other one was like kind of crazy. I was like, what? But if it's a sick relative, that makes way more sense.
That was just Twitter being the hellhole that Twitter is.
That's what it is. Yeah, people. I don't know how people even come to those type. People say those types of stuff. I'm glad that the players are so straight up on Twitter that they can just fact check some stuff. Obviously, Wiggins not that type, but like I like how Kevin Durant's like, nope, didn't say that. Because people on Twitter just go off on like little conspiracies.
I also don't believe Kevin Durant when he says anything on Twitter, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Kevin Durant's the bellwether of good tweets.
But got burners and he admits it. Like
I do appreciate him, but I do also agree with you at the same time.
No, I get it. It's just like one guy with a Warriors AV says that Andrew Wiggins got cheated on or whatever. Then all of a sudden everybody's like, yeah, that's what happened. It's like there's nothing to corroborate that story in any way whatsoever. Like,
I mean, it's like
it's dealing with a sick family, and now all of a sudden on Twitter his name is trending on him being cheated on, which isn't happening. Like, come on.
It's fantastical, but I feel like people really want to believe this, like the drama of it all.
Yeah.
You know, because it's actually a lot more alluring and stomachable than like the reality, which is like, you know, somebody he loves is like sick and or dying, which is a brutal thing, you know.
Terrible thing to deal with in any capacity.
And it makes sense too, like to be a celebrity, to like playing basketball and like going to a job where you don't have a camera in your face is when you're dealing with that shit. That sucks. Going to like an office sucks when you have that shit. Imagine like doing interviews and shit. Yeah,
being a public facing character.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that people don't take more time off. If anything, these people fucking, I don't even know. Carl Anthony Towns, I was like, holy fuck, dude, take a year off.
His grandma.
Shit he went through, it was wild. His mother, I think like his grandfather too, I think died from COVID.
It seems like a typo when you see
He
him. When you
was sick. He dropped like 20 pounds in the offseason this year because he was so sick. Something
they must have some. I don't even know. Yeah. Also, maybe a less sad note. Do you know the Celtics? Do you know like the stats muse stuff on Twitter? I just got this tweet that it makes me. They're also redundant. Like like Jason Tatum, the Celtics are 21-5 when Tatum has more than 13 points in the first quarter. Like, yeah, we're really good when Tatum is on average to score to be over his over like that. Yeah, he's gonna get 40 something that night. Then I got like
yeah, like
they
also,
do
like
that
the
though.
first quarter is always like Brown's quarter too. So Tatum has 13. That means Brown probably has 13, which means your team probably had like 30 something in the first quarter, which means you're already on pace for 120 something points in the game. Like,
The Celtics are really good when their best player scores a lot of points. Breaking news. Holy shit.
I love Jokic, but he always has that stuff. And like where like stats muse just will be like first person ever to this weird stat line. I'm like, okay. But
as a
then but
person have 7 assists, 18 points, 13 rebounds on 57.3% shooting,
yeah,
shooting 0 free throws in a game that was on a Thursday, and it
he's
rained the
just
night before and you were on the road.
he's basically just the most efficient post player since Wilt, so he just has all of those things now. Like it's just 70% true shooting type stuff.
His post game is so nice.
He's the type where like it's almost like Isaiah Thomas, how Isaiah Thomas is so good because he would go off on his wrong foot. And like that's what Jokic, the Euro players in general, like Jokic and Doncic, that's why they're both so good at like post stuff, is because they just basically don't do the same stuff as USA players, where
Yeah.
they shoot at different times, so the players are always like slapping them and like off
Timing
timing.
is off. Your defensive timing is so off on those guys because they shoot
Different.
so unconventionally always.
Jokic shoots it at the weirdest times. He just shoots, and it makes him so unguardable.
He never gets to the free throw line either. It's always just like I'm gonna take like this weird ass fade away off the wrong foot from the free throw line, just hit nothing but the bottom of the net. It's like, oh, okay.
He won't get to the free throw line, but gashes all over himself.
Yeah.
His arms are like the grossest in the league every night. He has just cuts all over him. He does not get a whistle.
No. He doesn't play to get a whistle though.
Yeah, well, I don't think he likes to even like because yeah, that takes a lot of falling.
He never falls down.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's pretty smart with his durability. Like Embiid gets a lot of calls, but he also flops and that injures yourself and stuff.
He got whacked in the face today by Dorian Finney-Smith on like a open dunk. It's pretty funny. I liked it.
I enjoyed it. Break his arm alone again.
Dude, I hate the Sixers. I cannot watch them. Embiid and Harden are probably gonna be like all-time greats, but their styles of play both suck in my opinion. I just hate the free throw guys, basically.
They're just free throw hunting.
Yeah, I hate it.
No,
I can't.
come on. They do more than that.
They do, but the pace.
They do,
It's
but
not
they
even
get a
like
lot off of that though.
the pace of
Yeah.
play sucks though. Like if you sometimes you watch a Sixers game in the court, like there's the legitimate complaint is that the first quarter can be like an hour almost. Like because they're just shooting free throws. Like I watched a game where like both of them they had 20 free throws in the first quarter and it was unwatchable. That is like crazy.
How do you feel about he is? I wonder where Tatum compares to in the amount of free throw attempts he gets a game as compared to Harden and Embiid. I think it's probably similar.
Tatum?
Well,
Yeah.
Tatum, that's one of the better. It's funny to even be complaining. Like I don't think Tatum really goes for it as much though. Like he doesn't like do moves as much to get fouled as like Harden. Harden's one of the best all time with that stuff.
Yeah. I don't think Tatum is leaning to get the foul or like is trying to get the foul, but he does beg for the whistle.
And he has a good one now because that was a problem with Tatum for a while. I remember when we like lost in the Eastern Conference Finals and Tatum had like one free throw and it was like I want to pull my hair out because he wouldn't go for it back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now like it's pretty hard. I don't know if I'll ever complain about Tatum going for it too much because he used to not drive enough.
Yeah, I just wish he would drive harder, like with a little bit more
I guess
strength than finesse. He always tries to go for the finesse finish. I wish he would just try and take a little bit like LeBron, take it really hard to the rack. But
Tatum is averaging 8.4 free throw attempts per game. Harden's averaging like 6.2, and Joel Embiid's averaging 11.7.
Yeah, so he's right in the middle of them.
Right in the middle of those two. But I mean,
Pretty good company, IMO.
Yeah, but
that's how you get points.
one thing you got to think about though, it's crazy that they're on the same team and they're both that high.
Yeah, seriously, that so that if you put them
17
together,
field
that's
goals.
brutal.
Yeah, it's like holy crap, because Tatum has the most on our team by a lot.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't even tell you who the second is.
I assume it
Jalen.
has to be JP, but I doubt he does. I doubt he gets like. I bet he. I don't know. I bet he's like half of Tatum.
Yeah, Browns probably get 4 or 5 a game or something like that.
And then like next would be like Grant Williams. Weirdly enough.
No, it'd
Yeah.
probably be like Brogdon just shoots like a couple technicals or something like that a night.
I saw
Damn.
Grant on Twitter was joking about his whole like the when he missed those 2 free throws after he said he's gonna hit them both, and I was like, all right, you're getting too comfortable, Grant. That actually sucked.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like,
was like,
hey, it's funny to joke about it, but
I like
I
that.
don't even know. I don't even want him to. We're going to the playoffs. Hit those next time, dude.
hit the
One
fucking.
thing I
free
don't
throws.
like so far about this game is that we're up by 30, and I have not seen him clock into the game yet.
That's a good point.
Like these are minutes that like Grant would be good. Like, hey, go get your rhythm and go get some playoff minutes. Let's get you into.
I doubt any of these guys play at all in the fourth, probably, if the lead stays the same.
If you're up by 30 in the fourth, I think they probably play the first like 3-4 minutes of the fourth.
Then you got to rest them.
Once Atlanta throws in the white towel, then you rest them.
Yeah, they still got to get reps because they did sit for a bit.
It's been over a week since the Stars have played.
They just don't have to play hard at least. Like we're kind of just ball movement in threes right now.
Which is exactly how we wish we played all year.
That's what. Yeah, that's what we do when we win. Yeah.
Yeah, when we play like shit, it's like, hey, let's play some ISO ball.
I know. That's one thing that kind of stinks about the Jalen experience because I feel like when he cooks the most is when we're doing ISO more. And it's kind of when we're not as good. I feel like when Jalen is his best games is not our best play, which kind of I don't know because he's such a good ISO dude, but I don't know. Same with Tatum.
Has it going, his ISO is great, but when he doesn't have it going, his ISO is just atrocious. He's a bad ISO player when he's not scoring the ball.
Well, he can't even dribble when he's doing bad.
Yeah.
Remember the finals last year? That was he was a problem in the playoffs last year for a second, like his turnovers, but he kind of cleaned it up.
Jalen, we're talking about, right?
Yeah, Jalen was getting stripped so much.
He was getting plucked, all the time.
Yeah. And
it was driving the paint with no plan of what to do. He was just driving. Exactly. Like, oh, there's 5 guys here. What do I do? Oh, here you go.
Yeah, if he stops and like he looks around with the ball and then he just gets fucking swatted.
Yeah. Drive with a fire.
You know what the Warriors too in Draymond? That's by design.
Yeah, Warriors are just dragging you out to play ISO ball and like, hey, cool, play 1-on-1. That's fine. And then we're gonna just force you to wherever we want you to go and strip you.
The thing about the Warriors is like they do trick you into that, but you should just always be like, no, you should look across the court and be like, let's play Warriors ball. You should always just be playing like the Warriors.
Try to out Warriors the Warriors. Yeah.
Hey, it's a pretty good system.
You can do that now. I don't know. Last year you could have done it.
That's basically just ball movement and a lot of off-ball movement too.
I don't know if you could have done that a couple of years ago against the Warriors. I think the Warriors are just too good. Like if you want to play into their game, they're just going to outplay you. But I think now you could probably get away with that.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Warriors under the Kevin Durant was not fair. Not fair at all.
Great ball movement by the Celtics.
Well, looks like none of my bets are going to hit besides the Celtics win.
Lighting them up. I wish I put money on Derek White tonight. Jesus Christ. The guy's got 20, I think, at this point. 22. He's got 22
Is he the leading scorer?
Tatum?
22 points on 6 of 10 shooting from the field.
Tatum is almost there for points, so I just need him to do, like, good teammate stuff to boost his teammates for me to get mine for, like, hedging. Because he just needs 25.
He's not getting 5. He's not getting your 2 steals. He's not getting your block. Like
he could. He could just get random 2 garbage steals. You never know. The Hawks could be sloppy as hell.
Could be.
They are. The first 3 they see. They're not going to pass the ball that much.
Yeah.
It's going to be one guy coming off a flare screen and shooting a 3.
I'm at least glad that he doesn't need a lot of points, though. Yeah, D White is. I just saw the Derek White 3. That's just when Derek White's doing that, you're not gonna win against us. That's for damn sure.
Oh.
If anyone if one of our defensive pest guys is on fire, it's like game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean if you got a friggin' a role player lighting up for 22, what are you gonna do? You're kind of fucked at that point because JB and
Oh,
JP probably
snap.
go out getting theirs.
That's why we're so dangerous, dude. We have an arsenal of dudes like that.
Yeah, our whole team is hustle players and two really fucking nice scorers.
Long as fuck too. It's not talked about how we're not like the tallest team, but we're like one of the best defenses just because we're so fucking long.
Damn, Clint Capella, Derek White trying to block open Clint Capella dunk is insane. It's nuts.
Well, I
Derek
love
White,
this dude, bro.
didn't he have the most guard blocks this year?
Yeah, we had
That
like,
wouldn't be shit. That doesn't surprise me at all.
75 this year or something like that.
He's our way better, obviously, because he's a playmaker, but he's like our like Danny Green. Remember when Danny Green was a blocking menace for the Spurs? He like,
Yeah.
he, like
He was
had
a
more than
legitimate 3-and-D guy. He was legitimate. Like, I'm gonna sit in the corner and shoot threes, and then I'm gonna try and block everything, even though I'm 6'4".
Dude,
Yeah.
Danny Green gets joked on Twitter. He's like probably the most one of the more dragged role players ever, maybe. But it's like he has 3 titles with 3 different teams.
That's
Like
wild.
that's not what bad players do.
To quote
got
Domingos, fuck Danny Green, he runs like a bitch.
Who you got titles with? You got one with the
And
Spurs.
also, I gotta stick up for Lansborough's teammate. So
Yeah, true. So see if you can guess all 3 teams, Steve. I think I know them all.
That obviously the Spurs, the Heat. You go with the Heat, and
I don't think so.
no, I know the 3.
I know the other. I know maybe I only know the other one. I don't think I know all 3.
he was
2 of them
not.
are very recent, like pretty damn recent. Now one of them obviously is the Spurs. The other one are pretty recent.
He was on the Bucks team that one, was he? No.
Both conferences.
Wow. 2-7. The Lakers? Was he on that Lakers team that one?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was fine, but he was not even as good as KCP in that series. He wasn't.
No,
I mean,
he's getting
KCP
old.
was good.
KCP is actually kind of nice.
He
I like
was
KCP.
really good. He
I like
was. I mean,
KCP.
he was like their 4th best. He was like their 3rd option or 4th option on that team that won.
And the other one is the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Oh, the Raptors, yeah.
He was
I
better
forgot.
He was still not even that good, but he was still just a 3-point, 3-and-D. You always need that.
Yeah. He's a glue guy.
He was supposed to come to the Celtics,
This year off the buyout market.
but he went to the Cavs.
Dude, I wish we had one guy because I listened to his podcast because his guests are sick. Because I sent you the clip, Steve, the JJ. I heard that JJ once said that he almost did a Celtics stint in the end of his career. I would have loved that shit.
Oh, the JJ Redick podcast. I listen to that shit at work all the time. Yeah.
Dude, that's a great podcast because the players he gets like actually like talking to him.
Yeah. You got Derek White and Al Horford on there, and Jason
Yeah.
Tatum and Marcus Smart.
Nice
Al didn't really.
picture.
Derek's was better than Al's. Al's is just.
Al's
is
and Derek's were so dry. Like, I love those
Yeah.
guys. They're great basketball players, but holy fuck, they didn't talk about anything.
No, Tatum and Jalen are better interviewers. Like Al's just so nice and happy, and he's just like, yeah,
I feel like Tatum's fairly milquetoast.
he is,
Yeah.
but he's just so good that it's fun to hear like superstar lifestyles.
They have that Duke background too, so they have a little bit closer of a relationship where like JJ can get him to talk about some more stuff. But like Al was like, yeah, I don't know, like team's playing real good. Really, when we're sharing the ball, we're at our best. And it's like, yeah, Al, like I could have heard this at a freaking halftime, like when they talk to you from the sideline. Like I don't need an hour and a half of this. Like I love you to death, but like, come on, let's give us something here.
When Tatum's on, I know
His-
they missed. He should have talked way more about like Puerto Rico and stuff.
The DR, yeah, that's what he should.
No, DR, because Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico's JTA, I think, or no, maybe that's Jalen Green. I just know that they have one of their first best players. I just know that recently because I wasn't like the thing I'm thinking about was that Al was the first Dominican player in the finals ever last year. So he needs to win a chip because maybe the first ever, and then also he should have talked about like that type of stuff, like how like what basketball is like there. I feel like they just talked about like vague Celtics and Hawks stories.
Yeah,
Shout out to
like-
JJ Barea.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican legend.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, no.
I
Is
forgot
he
JJ.
Puerto Rican?
I think
He was so good that series. Him and Jason Terry were just playing out of their mind.
I remember Andrew Bynum trying to kill him.
Yeah,
What?
that
Tried to
Lakers,
kill him?
dude, that
JJ
Lakers.
Barea went up for a layup at the end of a game against the Lakers, and Andrew Bynum was mad about something. He literally threw his whole elbow and his forearm into his ribs while he's shooting a layup, and like knocked him out of the air and almost like killed him. It was so
Damn.
bad.
Was that the
Andrew
same
Bynum
run?
was such a head case.
Was that the Thunder run where like Meta took him out too? That team was pretty evil, dude.
No, he was still in the Lakers when he did that to JJ Barea. But you're thinking of Ron Artest on the Thunder.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, like like that was also one of the playoff runs where he took out James Harden for the finals, like because he
Elbow
like
him in the head.
in the playoffs when his name was Meta World Peace, I think when he did it too.
Which is hilarious. He chose violence.
Did not choose Meta World Peace, that's for sure.
That was like those were his. I think those was like his Lakers Mohawk days where he was like kind of just a menace.
Didn't he also call himself Save the Pandas?
Or Panda's friend. No, I think it was Panda's friend or something.
Panda's friend.
Ooh, fuck those. That dude bumped his head a couple too many times, I think.
Hey, he wanted to.
The coolest one will always be Chad Johnson changed his name to Ocho Cinco.
Yeah,
That's
the
right.
incorrect way to say 85 in Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know it's dumb, but he's 8'5", dude.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny how it's not correct. That makes it better, honestly.
Ochenta Cinco stinks. Ocho
that's-
Cinco is cool. 8'5".
Did Pac-Man change his name?
That's a
No.
good. I don't know if he legally put Pac-Man in his name, but that is a sick nickname. Probably one of the best nicknames of all time.
I
Pac-Man.
think NFL would be cool if you let them put nicknames on the back of their jerseys instead.
That was
he
remember when
hate me.
Remember when the NBA did that for a little? That was pretty. I like those jerseys.
Yeah. And then they did the political awareness ones. Those
Yeah.
were pretty cool. The social awareness, political awareness ones. Yeah. That was pretty sweet.
I liked when there were like unique ones for that because a lot of the times people just did like the same ones, but sometimes it was cool when people did different ones. But yeah, no. Anytime that there's I mean, I don't like the customizations lately because it's more of just like ads now. But anytime the jerseys get switched up a bit, I like it. Honestly.
You guys remember the John Morant one that he posted on Twitter?
Oh, it's just
No.
fuck 12 thing.
Somebody changed his last name to fuck, so it said fuck 12, and he retweeted it.
That was one of the first like Jaws Wild moments that was like a funny one, but now he's going too wild.
There was that one, and then there was also the one like right around that time. I don't know if it was before or after, but he told somebody that you can taste these hollow points for free.
Yeah, that was another one too. Yeah, that was
It turns out that he might have had those hollow points.
dude, it started getting way more intense. It was like almost every instance was more extreme than the last with him.
Yeah, it was not great.
It started off as like funny, and then it was like, oh my god, chill out, dude.
Yeah, it just got worse and worse. Oh, by the way, Cody,
Sounds
you
like he
said
turned it
Denver's
around.
Scoring leader. Yeah, he is. He's at 24. He's a scoring leader for the team.
He's so young too, so it's like whatever. Like he's just young with a bad circle, it seemed. I don't know.
Yeah, he's yeah, it sounds like he's trying to be something that he's not, or at least it shouldn't be.
Me and Cody had a big talk about that. Yeah.
He was just trying to boss up way too hard. He was like, I'm the man of my whole like my whole family now. I'm gonna.
Dude,
We
like
talked
being
about
a being a gangster is like everybody thinks it's cool, it's a cool life. It's not, but like you're one NBA player. That's such a small number of people have ever been that. Like that is like way cooler, and not to mention a very good NBA player. That is way cooler than being like a fucking drug dealer
Max.
with a
Max.
gun.
The coolest player. Dude, he's like one of the coolest players in the league too. Like style wise, like
Like he blows up Twitter every single night with something.
It's wild.
Good on the court, I mean, and sometimes bad, obviously.
Well, that's why Gatorade signed him, and then he did all that stuff. Like Gatorade signed him. That's why he was like the first person with the beverage deal in so long, is because he's like so marketable. He's like the most marketable player in the league, without the off court stuff. His play is the most marketable thing of all time. He's basically like what we wanted out of D Rose when it comes to dunking and stuff.
Yeah, he's a human highlight reel.
Another problematic point guard
I know, right? Jesus,
that people just don't talk about, which is wild to me.
it's
Yeah.
just because he's not as good. If he was just still a superstar, he probably would be.
Well, I mean, listen, Kobe Bryant's one of the best players of all time.
That's
They
true.
don't talk about what happened in Denver.
He was too good.
Yeah, people talk about Derrick Rose being the most likable player in the NBA, though. Like nobody ever said that about Kobe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
So
I think that's more of a sign of the times, but the biggest example ever is Karl Malone.
Redacted. Yeah, no, yeah, seriously, yeah, but it's coming out more into the foray now. Like,
Well, they
Yeah.
had it because Utah hosted it, so they had him host a lot of stuff, and it was like,
yeah, which is weird. It's like the NBA should be smarter than that. Like you had a whole uh social awareness push, like and having every Black Lives Matter on the back of the jerseys and making sure that you're representing everybody equally. And then all of a sudden you're just gonna have this guy. Like it just seemed very tone deaf to have that guy out there. Like we forgot about it. Like we didn't forget about this.
you
Forgot
dude,
that he was a pederast,
Yeah.
allegedly.
it's wicked bad. No, I think it is.
I'm not even gonna say allegedly. What's he gonna do? Stu, the guy doesn't even have the fucking internet. He lives in a shack in the middle of the fucking woods somewhere. They had
No,
that
I'm pretty sure it's very true, and he just got away with it because it was Utah. Like it was because of the laws, and it was like the '90s.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was like very much true.
yeah.
But the but like the Utah just has. I mean, it's the whole Vernon Maxwell bit of hating Utah. They get the karma. They do not have good legends. Like I think I think there's that strap for legends. But like I think Stockton's equally a problem. I think right now.
Yeah, he's quite he's problematic in his own way for sure.
Like, isn't he like a wicked alt-right? Like he's like a Mormon like politician or something.
Yeah, like he's talking about. He said there was like millions of people that died from the vaccine, but he just doesn't have the numbers, the names in front of him to do it. Like you're just saying things. Like you have no facts to back it. You're just saying things.
Not all Mormon politicians are bad. Shout out to Mitt Romney.
I'll take your word for that one. Okay.
I like Mitt Romney, even though he's on the wrong side of the aisle for me.
Hey, did you guys know that there's a NBA playoff game that we're supposed to be paying attention to?
You couldn't tell, and it's actually they're cutting the lead. The deficit is tightening.
It's because yeah, I mean, I think it's because we didn't have Tatum out. Well, no, like Tatum's been sitting for a while.
It's tightening to 20 point 20 point lead. So
Big dunk to cut it to 20.
But let's put the starters in. Let's just fucking kill them and end this thing.
Yeah, big.
I think they arrived. They arrived dead. They never showed up to begin with.
You guys are gonna have to let me know if you want to hit a Fenway game though. I legitimately from my back because I just moved into a back bay apartment. From my back alley, I literally see the Sitgo sign. It's so sick.
That's awesome.
So I'm just want to be like a post. I'm just trying to go to as many Sox games honestly as I can too, because I want to use work because I'm here for like a year, probably not living here anymore after that. So
I want to see all the greats. Well,
that's what I try to do. I'm just trying to do shit like that. I want to see like the Jays again just because of Vladdy. Vlad didn't play last time.
Yeah,
But
I saw Miggy last year and Joey Votto.
Miggy's a great one, man.
I want to see Otani obviously and Trout.
It'd be good to see Otani pitch, but he hit at least and got on base and such. But yeah.
And who else is there? I just had a name and I lost it. Oh, Pujols.
Onyeka is a 6th overall pick.
What?
Did you know that Onyeka Ongonku is the 6th overall pick for the Atlanta Hawks?
You know
I
when the first time you saw that guy? No doubt the first time you saw that guy.
First time I saw that guy was when he was shooting these free throws right now in the third quarter.
No, I'm pretty sure that he was on that Alonzo team in high school.
Oh, Chino Hills or whatever?
Yes, I think he was one of the bigs.
Dude,
I want to
Really?
fact check that. I want to fact check that, but I'm pretty.
Onika Okongwu.
It's pretty hard. Yeah, good luck. Don't look it up. Spell that without.
Onika
I can spell it just 'cause I just saw it, but
Okongwu.
I cannot tell you. I can tell you that there's an O and an E and a.
Google spared me. They're like, all right, we know you mean this guy.
If it was on Chino though, then that is. But that's
Chino Hills. Yeah.
I think that's a fun NBA fun. I think that's a fact.
Yep, Okongwu was a 4-year starter at the Chino Hills High School in California, playing
was on that
alongside
wicked
Lonzo and
kid.
LaMelo.
So he was with LaMelo. Yeah, he was, and then like and
Don't forget about
obviously,
Leangelo.
I was
D'Angelo.
gonna say Jello, man. What the?
You know what? Fuck? You know how bad my sports takes are, and this is just gonna undermine the shit out of this podcast. I thought Leangelo was going to be the best one out of three of them.
Yeah,
He's the one that can't stand the league.
verdict's not out yet.
He
I think
looked
it's
like a prime Paul Pierce at Chino.
he's had a couple 10 days that he hasn't panned out, and one of his brothers has like a max contract coming to him from the Hornets. The other one would have had a max contract if he wasn't hurt.
It's always the youngest.
It's always the youngest.
Well, Michael Jordan has a few sons. None of them ever played in the NBA, so
I think Clay is one of them too, and Blake Griffin too. I think they have older brothers that were good, but not.
Actually, older of him and Seth, right?
Yeah, but when I feel like the all-time the all-time grades I feel kind of destroy that. But whenever it's like yeah, and one thing I think Bronny will be good though. Bryce I think could be really good, but I actually think Bronny will. I was really pessimistic about Bronny forever, but the fact that I guess his biggest thing is that he's the best guard defender in his class. That is what makes me enticed because that's not hype really.
From what I've seen, he's a dog on defense. I haven't watched much.
Dude, I
don't
wouldn't
really
even
pay
be that hype
attention.
if he's
I'll
a
pay
shooter.
attention until they get drafted and they play in the summer league. That's when I start looking at it and be like, all right, that guy's going to be good or that guy's not going to be good.
yeah, I don't think you can hold much stock
I can't hold stock in high school.
in high school games.
Stock in college either. Because
I hold more
you end
stock
up playing against you play against a guy who's going to be a major in accounting, and he just like happens to be a decent 3-point shooter, and you're going to have that guy out on an island trying to cover a guy who has an NBA prospect. Like he's going to cook him.
Dude, Wemby is pretty scary because I think he's like the other players that came out of the Euro, they had really like usually when they come out of EuroLeague, they have bad lines. It's usually like 10 and 10 because their sports wicked slow and like they're playing with grown men. Like I think Kristaps did a really bad stats, but we took him just because we took him from I don't know where did he come from? I don't know, but just because his body. But like Wemby is averaging like nuts numbers. Like, so I think, and I think it's way more than high school. Like I think it's way tougher than high school with playing the front.
Well, I think we talked about it again. I think the Euro players, like we're saying here, you can actually have a little bit of stock in like what they come up playing against. A lot more than probably college and definitely high school.
Absolutely.
Because like they're playing grown men whose jobs it is to play basketball.
Yeah, they're putting food on the table by playing basketball. They want it. In high school, it's like that kid's thinking about, hey, I hope my dad doesn't find out that I got a bag in my sock drawer. Like,
well, high school is always going to be always a joke because like the famous video of like Zion Williamson and like you got the little white kid and he's just like clapping, he's like he's giving him the business, and Zion's like,
who the fuck is this kid? Like bodies him out of the way. Like, yeah.
When the Zion mixtapes started first to drop, I was like, who is this superhuman? He was like a sophomore in his first ones, and I was like, bro, this is a 16-year-old.
It's like look at Kendrick Perkins, and he got drafted out of high school too, and he was dominated. Dude. He was getting like 30 and 20 a game in high school, and it's like he was a good, to maybe even a really good NBA player, but like the high school can't put any real like stock in that.
But the scouts don't even really. They're following it more. I think they agree with that more, but they're still behind on it because like this is all very true that like how did Luka go fourth? Obviously he still went high, but like he like was the best player. Like he like won a championship at Real Madrid and won MVP. That's better than anyone did in high school. like what? He was dominating like the early in his teens, and that was somehow
in Real Madrid at like 14 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, like he was playing against grown adults, and like somehow he was still not taken first.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He doesn't particularly play defense well.
Ayton was picked first because he played like Ayton's success in college was seen as better than Luka's in EuroLeague, basically. I remember that.
I could see you taking Ayton first overall. One, because it was the Suns and you already had Booker, so I can see that you don't need Luka or Trey.
Dude, imagine though.
But also, like DeAndre Ayton was also on PEDs, first of all. Second of all, looked like an absolute grown man with like a full mustache and the whole nine at like 18 years old in college. Like,
looks like
David Robinson. This guy getting bigger.
He looked like David Robinson at Arizona.
Yeah, it was wild. It was like he was 35 playing with like kids, and it was like, oh, okay.
So and he blew the tourney though. Like he couldn't even like the turn. Like Luka would not have gone out like that in the tourney. He just didn't even shoot.
He still doesn't shoot though. That's the mentality.
He does defer a lot.
Didn't they have Laurie at the same
Works
time, or
perfect for him now.
did they have Laurie and Aiden at the same time, or is that before?
I didn't even know Laurie went to college. I thought that Laurie was a.
It's almost like Mo Wagner, who was on Michigan. Like they do randomly. Like you'd think a lot of these dudes were from Europe, but they come over from Europe to play college a lot. I think
Cut it to 13 at this point.
pretty sure I remember Laurie in the tournament. Like should have done better and didn't.
Yeah, the deficit is games. They're making it a game. Oh,
Go, that's good for bets.
Jesus.
No, we should root for this because I want bets because we will still win.
What kind of fucking foul was that, Tatum? And is he going to get a tech, too, because he threw the ball at the ref?
No, they won't give a tech in the playoffs for that. Regular season, he would have been ejected.
What kind of foul is that? Why would you even put your hands on?
Yeah, that was not a good foul, that's for sure.
The Cavs are 4, right? So they're
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, they got the home advantage on that one, yeah.
I'm already thinking about that game.
Yeah.
I think that I like the Cavs to win the series, but I don't know, man. The Knicks are so grindy. They could make it a 7-gamer.
I'm taking Cavs in like 6 on that one though. I really think they can take that. I think they take Game 6 in New York.
So is the what oh my gosh, is Julius Randle back?
Yeah, he's back. From what everything I haven't read anything on it, but the original prognosis was he's missing the rest of the regular season. He's gonna be back for the playoffs.
Okay, we'll see how he's at with his health.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's gonna have a hard time against the Cavs because like you're a big boy play against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and like he gets a lot of his points off the dribble, like setting up in the perimeter against the rest of the centers, but you can't do it against Mobley. You can't even really do it against Jared Allen either.
I don't even know if they have that much of a home court advantage. I mean, maybe with but Donovan Mitchell, like Donovan Mitchell will probably play better in New York, honestly, because he likes the spotlight. I don't even think like I think that the Cavs will. I think that'll help the Cavs. They have the type of superstar that's good to play against the Knicks.
Did he score 70 against the Knicks? 72, 74? However many points?
I think it was an East team. I think.
Why do I think it was red? Maybe it was the Bulls.
Lillard did it against the Rockets. Maybe think about that because there were 2 this year.
That's wild. We had 270.
I gotta remember. Were they the same amount too?
No, I think Mitchell had 71.
I think they both did. Right?
I think Lillard had 70.
Only 70.
You think we're ever going to see a 100-point game?
It looks like it.
We're getting close.
With the threes, it looks like it. We're gonna have some sort of machine.
But it would have to be one of those games with you have one guy on that team.
Clay, like a Clay type assat, like dude. Remember that Clay could have done it on the night against that Kings when he had 37 and a quarter. Like he just didn't play anymore. Like if someone's that unconscious and their team sucks, because the team has to suck.
Kobe had a game where he had almost 70 and 3/4.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. LeBron could have had like so many crazy ones, but he just doesn't care. He just would sit if they're winning by a lot. But you have to have someone that's on a kind of you have someone like Damian Lillard's a perfect person for it, honestly.
Yeah. It has to be like the singular guy on that team, and he has to have it going. And you have to be able to shoot. That's the big thing.
And it has to be like, like I like it has to be like a Damian Lillard type player where it's like the team sucks and the game's close.
And you're elite.
Dude,
but
if Curry started in a post Curry NBA, he could. But like Curry actually like ushered this like 35-footer type league, like because Lillard is the only other guy that consistently has done that for so long, like Curry.
Yeah.
But Curry just plays on. But Curry could have I feel like if Curry started later, he'd be even crazier. He basically had to create this though.
I feel like if you put Curry on like the Hawks instead of Trae Young, I feel like he could drop he could get 70 or 80 in a game.
They're just trying to like squeeze chips out of him though. I don't think Curry would ever do that.
Not on the Warriors.
Squeeze as much juice as possible.
And the Warriors play like a machine. They play kind of like the Spurs. The ball just keeps moving. Whoever it finds gets it. if Curry has it going, they're gonna find a way to get it back to Curry at the end of the shot clock or whatever. Like it's never gonna be, hey Curry, run off the 3 screen and shoot a three the first one you see. That's why if you play on a team like the Hawks and it was just him, like yeah, he could probably do it.
You know what's
That's the
very
thing
funny? It's like we were talking. I just noticed this is a note, something I noticed. Like every single episode, we've talked about Damian Lillard, and I was like, the guy is so much in the discourse of basketball because he's definitely like, I don't know, like the greatest player to never win anything. Like he's gonna be the greatest.
This is gonna turn into the Damian Lillard report.
He's in such so much of the discourse, like because he is just phenomenal.
I'm glad he got the top 75.
Yeah, he should have been top 75. He's elite.
Dude, he's better. Like he's gonna end up because of all like there are a lot of players that you look back and they're better. They're rated better than you think. Like the number one guy is like T-Mac. Like the amount he's talked about compared to like honestly, Lillard's like almost a better version of T-Mac when it comes to like the dude who like was like a scoring machine that never won much.
Mhm.
Like he has a better career than T-Mac.
Jaylen
Like,
Brown putting them
long-term.
away. Let's go.
Brogdon blew it for me, but Jalen didn't.
Shout out to JB. We love JB.
Maybe if Broggy can get 15 this quarter. It's literally not the player to do that, like ever.
I don't think Al's hit another 3-pointer. He's only hit one.
No, I don't think any of my I don't think any of my bets are gonna hit.
I'll take-
Brown hit his points over.
I should've
Obviously, the
taken
Celtics are
points.
going to win.
I should have just taken the points of the guys, not taking the points, rebounds, and assists.
Honestly,
shit.
there's a lot of time left, so
Yeah, all I need is Al to just hit two more threes, and I think I'm in the money.
yeah, that's the
That could
thing.
happen.
I'm rooting for Brogdon, who Brogdon might play a lot in the end. So he might get a lot of garbage points. We shall see.
Although we did just say it's 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They're up by 20 again. They're probably going to start sitting them. Fuck, the starters. So, yeah, it's good if you have a Brogdon bet.
I don't know if they're gonna start sitting them. You just gave up a 9-0 run to cut it to 12 before you went on that little run of your own.
Yeah,
This Hawks team is streaky. They can hit a couple of threes and make it a game. You want to keep you guys loose. We've seen games this year where they tried to do that, and then the other team came back. You put in your starters late in the game, and they just didn't have it.
what's wild about this game is if you look at the box score, no one jumps out except for White. Like no one even did better than they average. Like no one's doing above average except for White. Like Jalen's doing well, but like not out of his mind.
No, he
And then-
scored. He has 26 points.
11 for 20, like that's so doable for Jalen. Like Tatum's doing bad, if anything.
What's he got?
And he's 9 for 20 and he has 21 points. And like Horford is 3 points, Smart is 11. White is the only one overperforming right now, and we're like destroying. So it's
I
pretty
told
good.
you, if it was a game to pick the Hawks to cover, it would be this game. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Maybe you should take the under of the live.
They have nothing to lose. Either.
They're still not They ain't going to cover. They're down by 20 again. There's no
Well,
way.
whatever the live is, because the live was like 26 at one point.
Yeah, the live at
Yeah,
halftime,
true.
26 and a half. And I was like, that's wild.
If you took that, you're
I'll put
foolish.
$1 million on them to cover 26 and a half points in a playoff game against the Celtics. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just like you don't bet or know basketball that much. Like 26, you think they're gonna win by 26? That like happens a few handful of times.
We wouldn't even really care about doing that. Like the team wouldn't care that much. We wouldn't care if we win by the teams as long as it's never really under 20 for
We
much.
win by 20, we're still happy. Like
Yeah. We win by
If the
15.
live spread 16 and a half, I still wouldn't touch it.
The spread was 12 and a half. If we clear that, that's a great win. That's for fucking
I would
sure.
say you're not playing it. I mean, I know they're kind of not a great team, but they're not a joke of a team. They're in the playoffs. Like this is not like the San Antonio Spurs you're playing against.
they didn't make
Ask
it.
Joel-
That's for
Ask
sure.
Joel Embiid if they're a joke team. And Ben Simmons. This team ruined Ben Simmons' career. It's basically the same team.
Yeah,
Literally ruined his career. Trey Young ruined Ben Simmons' career. Obviously, Ben Simmons did it to himself, but like that series sent them over the edge.
yeah, that guy's such a fall from grace. It's crazy.
It's also so weird that we ragged on him for that play. Like, dude, he came off a spin move, didn't know who was there, knew that he had a player there to drop it off to, so he made the right play. Because 99% of the time, that guy sitting there in the paint is a center, and you off a spin move, you're not going to lay it up on a center.
I think
Oh, that was Trey Young. It's like, why did you pass it? It's like, because he doesn't know that's Trey Young sitting there.
well, that's the Braun type thing. Like if when Braun does it, I know it's a calculated decision. I think Ben passes way too much first, though, definitely. But I also think that the only reason it went so sour is I agree though that was blown up proportion. It was how the Sixers treated it. Like they threw him under the bus.
True.
They were like Embiid didn't have a point in the fourth quarter of that game. But Embiid just shit on Ben in the post conference and then Doc basically said it was the issue too.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that?
No, I blame that more than anything. They handled that like shit.
Well, I mean, it seems like they were right. Like we're shitting on them for. I know you don't do that, but they. I mean, you'd rather be the 76ers.
I have to see Joel do anything.
Or was it because he was already gonna fall off?
He's not doing great anywhere else.
But what did the Sixers like? The Sixers have been sorry in the playoffs since though too.
Yeah, it's not like the Sixers have been lighting.
Like the Sixers, Joel has been that good in the regular season all along. Like he just needs to, it would prove it right if Doc and him don't choke this year. But they might, They imagine if the Nets win a couple, that'd be crazy.
I'd love to see that. I mean, I wouldn't love to see it. I'm a Celtics fan, but
I want to see I want to see all the series go to 7 except for ours. And I hope the best teams win those 7-game series so that we can beat them in the next round when they're tired.
Yeah, I hope we face the Knicks in the Western Conference final. No, the Eastern Conference finals or something.
That would be so weird.
Everyone just gets no, I'm not even gonna say what I was about to say.
I don't like the way Celtics are playing. They're just giving the Hawks confidence at this point. I mean, I know you're still up by 17 right now with 6.5.
Derek White is the type of player that will just be on fire and airball a three.
Yeah.
He also looks like a Neanderthal.
Oh fuck! Hey, bushed.
Yeah, this game wasn't very electrifying to wake you up out of it.
No, this is a snoozer of a game. I know I know Steve's what he said. It's sort of true, but okay, they're cutting it close to 10 points. We're beating the playoff team in the National Basketball Association by 17 points in the playoffs.
I mean, let's
boring.
The NBA with a 16 team playoff setting. The 7th and 8th seeds of both conferences are never good.
Well, right. So that's what I was saying. To Jacob on the break, the playoffs really start for us next round.
Yeah,
if we make it, obviously.
No, we're still gonna make it.
Knock on wood.
Even then, it's the Sixers. Does it really start next round?
Yeah, it starts. The Sixers are gonna be tough.
They've never made it out of the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you should win, but they're gonna be tough out. I think.
I think Embiid's MVP I think he might get gassed, dude. I don't know. His MVP campaign might have drained him.
Embiid's gonna be drained, and James Harden's also not right.
I think Jokic played it smarter by not caring.
Yeah. Harden passed up a wide open 3 today, which was the most shocking thing I saw in recent basketball history memory.
To be honest, I didn't see it, and I don't believe you that it happened.
He caught it on the corner, and he knew he was gonna pass it, but the defender, instead of running at him, also knew he was gonna pass it, so he went out to the corner to try and beat the pass. So Harden was he went there, and he still had the ball in his hand. He should have just pulled it back and shot it. Luckily, he passed it, and PJ Tucker nailed it, I think. Or maybe it was Tobias Harris. I can't remember. But,
dude, I think anything goes for James Harden being weird in the playoffs.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time, would it?
He would never pass up an open shot in the regular season, but the playoffs, I can see him getting.
He hit a mean step back on Mikal Bridges today.
That's a pretty good person to get it on too.
Yeah.
Hawks are starting to send double teams at Tatum, and he.
Come on, open up for some Al Horford threes, please.
Made the right play, but didn't work out.
That is very probable, honestly. Go Jalen.
They're looking like they're going to play him all the way through.
The Hawks are kind of forcing it.
All right, don't go into this whole fucking dribble ball for 15 seconds offense. Like, stay moving.
They've already figured they've won, basically.
Al Horford's wide open, please. It's been probably Marcus Smart's like worst season in recent memory.
He's just been injured, I think.
He's been very between the neck and the ankle.
I know
but he hasn't finished that strong anymore. Like he's looking for the foul every single time he goes up with the ball.
I think it's because he's not as like jumpy. He's trying to compensate.
Come on, Celtics.
He's trying to take a page out of Kyle Lowry's book of how to be like a slow guard.
I think this is good for the Celtics. I think them giving up that big lead is good for the Celtics. Let them know, hey, you can't fuck around in the playoffs.
No.
These guys don't need to know that you can't fuck around the playoffs.
It's a hell of a spin zone.
I'd rather have it happen now than against the Bucks. Because if you do this against the Bucks or something like that, they're not gonna like half-ass come back and you're still gonna win the game. They're gonna blow you out.
No, that was my biggest fear last year, and it might have actually happened because we had a hard series. But I thought the Nets series was like too easy. I was like, damn, I kind of wish we've just killed them. It was like a hard
sports radio this week. This week's sports radio is, oh well, is it a bad thing that Celtics got the Hawks and not the Heat in the first round? Because they're not going to be able to get real sharp through the playoffs. It's like, bro, all these guys on this team, short of I think Malcolm Brogdon and Sam Hauser, have all made the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
like you don't need to get sharpened in the first round to figure out what the playoffs are about. They've been there. They've done that.
No, see that's more of like a tiny devil on my shoulder and like way more optimism. I definitely don't let it like poison me like radio does.
Absolutely, they're just trying to find something negative to talk about.
I think we'd argue that having seen what happened last year, we'd rather the series be easier on the path to the finals than not.
Well, unfortunately, we have Giannis, so
yeah.
And we're gonna go up, and like I've been saying all pod, and the road ain't any easier than it was last year. You're getting an easy series to start. You got to handle your business, and then you get. You think this is an easier road? You're playing two. You're playing two MVPs.
10 times. Well, yeah. Last year you played the fucking Heat, who are not a slouch, with Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler playing on top of their game and everything.
I know.
And last year you also started with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the first round. Like I know we swept them, but you still had to like lock down and play Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the first round. That was like I know it was a sweep, but it was not an easy series.
If you straight up just say the matchups, like if you say like KD, Kyrie, and then the Bucks, and then the Heat, like without explaining the sweep, it's a crazy line. And then the Curry Warriors, if you just don't say how easy the Nets felt, it is like one of the craziest runs, like comp wise. The Heat were the worst team that we should have played probably.
Yeah, that's just elite coaching and Jimmy Butler playing out of his mind the whole game, the whole series.
The Bucks series is going to be a lot harder than it was last year. Not a lot, but hard.
I think it'll be easier this year.
They have Middleton. Now.
How can you figure that the number one seed in they're the best team in the NBA?
Number one seed in the East last year was the
Heat.
Was the Heat? Do you think the Heat series would be harder, or they didn't even make the playoffs this year?
They just have Middleton this time. That's the biggest difference.
They have Middleton, and
Middleton,
I think
he hasn't played more than like 20 minutes a game this year.
But he's going to be playing 20 minutes more than he did last series.
Yeah, okay.
But he's one of the Celtics killers.
You also don't have PJ Tucker to cover either one of the Jays.
Like, you're right. He's on the 76ers now, which is
and it's a 76ers team. Can't make it out of the second round. Like
but that's past. We're talking about this year.
You just told me earlier you're not worried about the
Horford.
They don't make it out of the second.
Yeah, Horford for three. Yeah. I don't know if that put me over yet.
You guys are so far behind me.
Fuck.
You just told me that you're not worried about the Sixers making another second round. Now all of a sudden PJ Tucker's the difference maker, but he doesn't matter to not be playing on the Bucks.
But those two things can exist at the same time. They're going to lose to the Celtics, but it's going to be a very hard series.
I mean, Giannis has shot over 45% from the field against the Celtics one time in the last 10 times we played them. So
yeah, but they have Middleton now. who scores buckets.
We have Malcolm Brogdon now.
And Drew Holiday is. Listen, I think we should win the whole thing. You're not. I'm not saying we're going to lose to any of these in the
Chris
series.
Middleton will
I'm
win
just saying the
them
road's very
one
hard.
game against the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Drew
He's gonna
Holiday
hit a
is.
He's gonna win. He's gonna hit a game winner, but we'll win the series.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 5-1 series.
He's gonna hit the deepest, craziest three ever against us because he always does that. Maybe just
Oh,
no.
I
He'll
hate
send
that.
it to overtime. He'll send it to overtime and win the game.
Remember when Jordan Poole was? It seems like every single year the Celtics playoff run, like one or two, like end of the half buzzer beaters from fucking 3/4 out go in.
Yeah, some stupid where he gets.
Remember the Jordan Poole one? That was so fucking. That was brutal.
Yeah, I think we were like getting momentum too. It sucked or something like that. Like it killed us.
Oh boy, sloppy.
I'm not really that scared of the Nets because we played so bad and they were still. I mean the Hawks because we're still gonna pretty much just win. But we don't.
so sloppy right now. It's very irritating.
We didn't even play good this game at all.
If you play this way against the Bucks, you're gonna get swept.
Oh fuck! I need one more Horford 3. No.
Did you sub out?
I'm not hitting mine. There's a minute and 43 seconds left. I think I need like
No, I'm not. Yeah,
so many points from Tatum and Brown to do anything.
Broggy let me down.
Well, Brown actually hit, but I would need 10 more points, rebounds, and assists from Tatum and another 3 from Sadiq Bey. So I'm hoping that the Hawks force into overtime so that I can get my winnings and whatnot.
And I hope you lose your bet because I don't want to see that happen.
No, I do not. I would rather lose the $5 I put down than an overtime game against the Hawks.
You can always make more money, Steve. You can only play the Hawks seven times.
This fucking team is wild.
Look at you, you're over here with a big nuts confidence, and you're sweating the fact that the Celtics are up 13 points. Like, with 2 minutes left.
13, we're going to beat the Hawks, but if you play this sloppy against the Bucks have a terrible half-court offense. They're in the bottom half of the league in half-court offense, but they're first in defense, so they're going to try and turn you over, get the ball, and get out and run with it. That's how they win games.
I would take the Drew Holiday steals over every single year. Game, I mean.
All over like 17 times against the fucking Hawks. Like you turn the ball over 17 times against the fucking Bucks. That's 34 points at least.
That's yeah, you're gonna lose.
Like, honestly, yeah. Drew also over on steals for the series, but also just like maybe just the team steals on the Bucks end every game. That'd be a good parlay. Maybe like
you get a line on the Bucks steals, and you think they're gonna win the series and take the Bucks steals every game.
Well, yeah, I'd say Celtics money. That'd be a funny parlay, Celtics money line, but Bucks steals.
You would lose your money because
just burn your money because the Celtics ain't gonna win.
I think we're just
the Bucks lose.
I think it's just gonna be a really ugly series, but
Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday total steals a game.
That would be a good one. How many times does Marcus Smart get hit in the groin in the series? Over under 35.5.
They randomly have like Joe Ingles too. Just
you can hit the over on that, or can you hit the exact number on the threes for L? Can you push?
No, it's a half.
Damn.
So it's gonna go over.
Oh, it's 2.5.
Yeah, it's at a half 3.
I thought it was 3 on the money for some reason, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't but it says 2.5 on my thing.
Yeah, I got a line.
Oh, please, Al, please. Fuck.
That's what I was asking. But I had a rebounds for Grant at 4 on the money. I was like, that's weird, but okay.
Good thing you didn't take that.
No, I picked that in the last Hawks game on last Sunday when the season finale, and Grant played 5 minutes, so I did not hit that one.
unless they're like Grant Williams is starting this game, I would not even bet anything about him.
No,
yeah.
I was looking at it. They had him like 8.5 like points and rebounds or something like that, and I was thinking about taking it, but he didn't even play this game.
Did he get a DM? Yeah, did he get a DMP for this game?
Yeah, he's getting a DMP CD on this one. He's not even hurt.
They'd have to basically it'd be like we're up 3-0. Al Horford's staying home because we're resting him, and Grant's starting. Then I'd be like, all right, but the over.
Even with this team, I wouldn't even take up 3-0. I wouldn't even take them to fucking sit anybody.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one in the books for the boys. One down, 15 to go, boys.
It's so long ago, but I'm just remembering how this is like an Al Horford revenge series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Against the Hawks,
two different teams since then. So
they just have such different jerseys right now that it's kind of hard for me to remember.
The Hawks have had one of the worst rebrandings.
I kind of like the red ones with the triangles, though.
As an alternative, yeah.
With the high vis green on them.
I mean, they have maybe one of the best throwbacks of all time.
Al, shoot a three. Come on.
I even like the Josh Smith era ones too.
Yeah, I like that too. Growing up with those.
On them. Those are nasty. I love those so much. Big win for the boys. You won by 13.
So all the doom and gloom.
Dude. It's 15 from me.
Yeah, what the fuck, Steve? Shut up, dude.
Hey, guess what, Jacob? You still covered your 11.5 on that.
Shoot that. Shoot that, Al.
Dude, the line was 12.5, and that's why betting is diabolical. They somehow know exactly it's gonna be 13. Dude, how like
mathematician? You get it. They do all the math.
How the fuck do they know exactly what it's gonna do? It's 13. It's so fucking close to the line.
Yeah, that is honestly insane. The way this game's gone. They were up by 30 points at one time.
I pick guys over runners on points. It's like 26.5. They get 26. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
That is fucked up.
This is how Vegas drew it up in the beginning. This is exactly how it drew up happening.
The NBA story writers.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
at halftime they told us to stop playing. And then,
so that's it. The Celtics take game one, 112-99. Jaylen Brown, 29 points. 12 boards and 3 assists. DeJounte, however you say it. 24 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists.
We're going to interview him one of these days, and we're going to find out how to say it.
It's like the mustard.
DeJounte?
No, it's actually not. That was a good nickname for him for a little, though.
DeJounte? Yeah. So give us a takeaway. Each of you give one takeaway from the game.
Jacob, you go up first.
Kind of like what I said at halftime is that it's kind of just the Hawks aren't that serious, and I feel like we just need to button it up our core, but we should obviously win easy. And yeah, I feel like this series is more about just getting our reps, I think. And we didn't really do like I just want to stay with our like first half energy more in the series, and then I'll feel better about it. But yeah, I mean, we should win. That's my takeaway.
My big takeaway is like a little sloppy with the ball. I mean, you can get away with being sloppy with the ball against the Hawks because you're just going to defensively lock them up. They're not going to have an answer for you, but you got to clean that up. I'd like to see him clean that up before the end of this series because if you're turning the ball over against the Hawks who don't have a good defense, when you play against one of these other teams, like Philly has a pretty good defense, and if you can make it through that series, the Bucks have the best defense in the league. You're going to struggle, and I would like to see them clean that up, like, first and foremost over all this. But other than that, like, you went out there, you didn't play crazy minutes on your starters. The Jays didn't play crazy minutes. You went out there, you took the lead early in the second half of the first quarter, and you didn't really give it up. So I like a good dominant wire-to-wire win on that one.
Yeah, I echo what you all said, except, it's a 13-point victory, and the game was never particularly close. And you're in the playoffs, and that almost never happens. So, the turnovers need to be cleaned up for what Steve said. That is death against a team like the Bucks, but they came out and they handled business well.
Man, we are such assholes looking at the Bucks already in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we have won one game.
The mask all
win the game before we're talking about the Bucks. It's like we're one game into the actual playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the expectations this year.
Yeah, no, the expectation is banner number 18, and we will be reporting on it.
I am disappointed if you don't get a championship.
Yeah, it'd be like, what the hell? And then, yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, boys. That's all I got.
You got anything, Jacob?
No, I'm good.
Jacob, plug your stuff.
Yeah, plug it.
Yeah. I'm about to.
Come on.
I'll put it up front.
I'll be doing like a big thing for the playoffs, I think. But yeah, I kind of slowed down because the end of the year is more of like a season thing, but I'm gonna be doing like more playoff stuff too. But yeah, I know my blog, I post on Substack, the Pierce post up. Follow my Twitter, I guess, is where I posted at JacobP25.
Cool. I'll be plugging all that stuff at the front, up top of the video, and
Love that.
feel free to come back anytime, buddy.
Yes, maybe just like another playoff type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you want. Just we're gonna do odd number games. So
Okay. Until if we get the finals, which I expect us to, we'll talk about a new schedule on that one. But
we could be shitting ourselves on a live, like on like a really intense game. That'd be fun.
that's why
yeah, this was not that.
I love that. Dude, imagine some of like the Bucks. Imagine like if we were on a call for like the Tatum like 40-something point game to save us last year. Like that'd be crazy.
Hell yeah.
You got a Bucks. Imagine Game 7 last year against the Bucks with Grant Williams 7 3-pointers.
That was just Kelly Olynyk moment.
Yeah, that was beautiful. We would love to see that. Beautiful.
Cool. Thank you.
A lot of shit. Beautiful.
This has been the Banner Report.
Thank you for joining us, Jay Little Cup over here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.